Harlan Guthrie, and I am here with the one, the only, the lovely Ms. Jo Fallak. And tonight, we are privileged with the guest stars of our fellow podcasting community. That's right. Tonight, we are joined by not one, not two, but three fellow podcasters. First off, I'd like to introduce you to the one and only Mr. Mike from Tales of Asperran. He is handsome. He does wear glasses, so he's going to fit in pretty well here, despite Joe not wearing hers right now. Second, I would like to introduce you to another little podcast that you might have heard a lot about, the Dimension Door Team. And two of the people that I care about very much from there, we have first off, Liz Wilcox.
Hello.
And the one and only, you've heard his name and voice many times, Mr. James Schwartz.
Hello.
And tonight, we bring you an event. For this Halloween season, we decided to pull up our sleeves and run a little bit of a spooky, spooky game called Call of Cthulhu. The Devil's Grin. Yes, I did have to look at my title of the game.
I like that you checked it. You're like,
Listen, I run a lot of fucking Call of Cthulhu. I don't remember exactly where we are left off and stuff like that. I did call it the Hangman about 5 seconds before we went live. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. If this is your first time watching the INVICTUS stream, this is what we do. We run RPGs, sort of, every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Tonight we have friends for the first time, which is great. Always wanted them. But we always run something, whether it be a video game or a brand new weird RPG or an old classic like we are doing tonight. We are very special. That's it. We are very special.
Indeed, yeah.
That's it. No, but tonight we are doing this sort of for a reason besides the spooky season. We are working on our Extra Life goal for 2020. Thank you. Please hold your applause. Extra Life is a charity stream that we are going to be streaming RPGs and video games for 24 hours on November 7th. I am also going to be joined by some of the people that I'm playing with here tonight, which is really exciting. And we are looking to raise $2,000. And we are at, as of this moment, $1,165. So we are not that far off. Guys, hold the applause. Jeez. Yes, I am pushing the button. But if you are feeling motivated or have the means to donate, please consider going to the link in the description of this YouTube video and making whatever you can in terms of a donation. It is for Sick Kids Hospital, which is a very needy place at this time. Not needy in the, but the needy in that they need it. So please consider doing that very much. This fucking crowd is wild tonight, guys. Who's excited to play some Call of Cthulhu?
Me, yes. I am.
We have a few newbies here, Mike, Liz, James. That's like the majority at this point. You guys have not played this before, correct?
Correct.
Not once. I've watched shows that have played it and they all died, so.
And it wasn't even our show.
I got my seatbelt.
Good. And we're all drinking. I think Liz has made, what was it that you made, Liz?
I have made a couple of Mary Pickford's.
What is in that?
Prohibition cocktail. It is a mix of Bacardi Gold Rum with fresh pineapple juice, grenadine, and some Luxardo liqueur.
Wow. So if you're not already immediately aware, Liz is the person who often posts drink recipes on her own podcast feed as well as on the Discord every once in a while. So a lot of awesomeness there. Mike, you're not drinking though.
Not at the moment. I will probably have a whiskey and Coke at some point. I just took some medicine for some teeth, so I am not trying to mix that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably a bad idea.
Fair
Although
enough.
it could make the sanity rules extra interesting. Yeah, we are going to be having a few drinks tonight as well going on. James, you're drinking a Mary Pickford, I assume?
I was drinking.
Oh, no!
He needs a little refresher.
Yeah, I'm one in already, and we haven't even begun, so it's going to be a great night.
It's going to be a wonderful night. As you people who are watching know, that Call of Cthulhu is one of our staples. It will be spooky, and it will be 18+. This is a mature game and a mature show, and we're mature people.
Well.
We know mature words.
Mature-ish.
Yeah. I know no words, which is what I call them. Question in the back.
I have something.
Joe.
Fucking Dice Shame has been out for 1 whole year as of tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
1 year anniversary.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank
That's great.
you.
Proud of that. And on that note, I want to make sure, even though I mentioned them, that if you are interested in other podcasts, make sure you check out Tales of Asperran and Dimension Door Podcast. And Dimension Door Podcast's new sister show, sort of the term I'm going with, Severed Fate?
Severed
Yeah.
Fate, yeah.
Oh, good.
So that one, it's first episode's coming out this Saturday on Halloween. And that's
Ooh.
going to be on its own separate feed.
So make sure you check it out and give it a spooky like or review or whatever we do for podcasts. I should fucking know and I don't. But yeah, there's lots of talent. That's to me, not them. Lots of
I was gonna
podcasters.
say,
going here.
wow.
No, I don't diss. I diss
Shade,
myself. This
shade.
is self, not flagellation. What's the word?
Self-diss.
That's it. And just for the record, we're drinking beers from obviously our friends at Chronicle. And this is
Chronicle.
actually a Phantasma themed one.
Is it?
Yeah, it's got the ice cream
Nice.
truck from
Ooh.
I'm drinking another Lon milkshake IPA. It's
Yeah,
delicious.
I
My
get them for
favorite.
you. So, the investigators tonight are going to be taking on an interesting journey. A few of the people who are watching this or part of the community have played this game before, obviously, because this is a convention game that I've run. But it does have a fair number of handouts. So if you're watching this on any of our multiple platforms, make sure that you join the Discord so you can chat along. And most importantly, check out some of the handouts that are going to go, because you are just as important in solving this mystery as these people are, especially depending on how many Mary Pickfords James has. We're going to need
10
everyone on
hints.
there. We're going to need that help. And the handouts is the place where it's going to go. I think, are we ready to do this? Should we just jump in, guys?
Let's do it.
I'm
Right?
Yes.
All right, well, without further ado, it is time for Call of Cthulhu, the Devil's Grin. It is Monday, July 17th, 1922, in Arkham, Massachusetts. You stand in the sweltering Monday morning heat before a small art gallery off Arkham's main street, the Lowry House. It's a fairly renowned art gallery in and around Arkham, although you've never personally made your way inside. The four of you stand shoulder to shoulder, meeting at the appropriate time, James holding the telegram that you received loosely in his hand. The one you received to your newly opened office. The office of Arkham Trust, an investigative firm that you created, each of you, because you believed that there was more to the mysteries and questions that ran about the dark corners of Arkham. The telegram in your hand reads thusly: Require your investigative team for inquiry into death. Stop. Cash and reputation boon. Stop. Meet at the Lowry House Monday morning at 8 a.m. Stop. Privacy a must. With only a few days last week under your belts, this notice is your first real case. And as you tuck the letter away, you hope it proves fruitful. James, as I said, you're holding this telegram. Who are we looking at? What is your name, and what is your occupation?
Yeah, you're looking at a man who looks very similar to me, a bit more rough and tumble looking, a bit more dirty, and he goes by the name of Billy. My name's Billy. Normally, I'd be a cab driver here in Arkham, but you know, cab fare it's great and all. I met a lot of good people. I met all these people, but you know, there's something more for me out there, and I got a car, and that's good, but I don't want to be driving people forever, you know.
Oh, I know, Billy. I know, says the voice floating high above the world.
Thanks, voice. I really appreciate it.
Billy, as you tuck the note away, you sort of feel a hand clasp on your shoulder, a frail hand that sort of steadies itself, and you turn to see none other than Gertie. Who is Gertie, Liz? What is her occupation, and who are we looking at?
Gertie is a 73-year-old woman. She is very distinguished, but a little bit eccentric in her dress. She's got her, what she calls, investigator outfit on. And her full name is Gertrude Burling. She's retired for the most part, but this would be quite a lot of fun. She is a landscape painter by trade.
Perfect. And as you sort of steady yourself on Billy's arm, and he sort of takes yours, you notice that Herb is actually looking out towards the street, eyeing something through the viewfinder in his camera as he puts it down and turns back to the rest of you. Mike, who is Herb, and what does he look like?
Herb is a not super tall guy. I'd probably say like 5'8". At his highest peak. He's in his 30s. He's wearing this kind of dark green, like striped shirt, or black striped shirt with, vertical green stripes, very similar to the one I'm wearing now. Upon his head, there's kind of this like beat up looking knit cap that he has on. And he is a photographer. He takes a lot of pictures. Sometimes he gets paid to, sometimes he doesn't. But he's mostly trying to get a picture of a real vampire. He thinks they're real.
Perfect.
It's his MO. Kind of why he joined into this gig.
And Herb, as you sort of turn back and see the others approaching the art gallery, you catch just a few clicks of her heels as Lillian approaches. Joe, who's Lillian?
Indeed, yes. The camera does the classic floor to ceiling pan up as Lillian arrives. She's in her little patent leather kitten heels and the pantyhose that have the lines up the back. It's kind of a distracting get up for a young woman who's trying to make a professional image of herself. But Lillian doesn't seem to mind the stares as she walks down the sidewalk, trailing cigarette smoke after her. She's wearing a gray a dress sort of suit situation going on. What do we call those?
Pantsuit.
Pants, but without the pants.
Naked suit.
It's like a little skirt and blazer combination, and she's got a little reporter's pad that's spiral bound at the top, clutched in one hand. She sort of hurries up to the art gallery. She's running late, always, perpetually late.
Yeah, and Gertie, you actually see this. You notice that the journalist is running late once again. Does it irk you at all, or are you kind of cool with that?
Lillian, this will truly come back to bite you if you don't change your habits. As I always said at my salons, being late may be fashionable, but it's not a good career move.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Gertie. I couldn't find my way out of the bathroom this morning, and I just, couldn't get my curls set. You know how it is.
Ugh, I used to years and years ago, but times change.
You each begin up the large stone steps that leads to the white exterior of this building. The dark oak double doors that lead inside offer a chance at redemption from the unforgiving sun. Entering the Lowry house is a welcome relief from the stiff morning air as the cool air inside dries your dampening skin. The lobby is a plain white stone area with a large oak desk that runs the length of the room. The floor is white stone and reflects slightly as you move into the lobby. A fan listlessly swings back and forth, cooling you with every pass, as you hear the hard footsteps from a pair of approaching shoes. Rounding the corner, you see a small balding man with wire-rimmed glasses. He dabs his forehead with one hand and stretches the other out towards Billy as he approaches. Good morning. You must be the Arkham Trust.
Yeah, are you William?
Yes, I am.
Excellent.
And who?
Glad to meet you. Glad to share a name.
And he sort of nods. Sorry, what was your name?
No, I'm Billy.
Right, Billy. Okay, and you, ma'am? And he sort of turns to you, Gertie.
Gertrude Burling.
Right. Yes, that name seems familiar. And he sort of shakes his head and looks towards you, Herb.
You can call me Herb.
Nice to meet you, Herb. And of course, you must be
Lillian Danes. You would have heard of Gertrude, perhaps. She's a local painter.
I thought so. I was interested. That name sounded a little bit familiar.
It
Now,
should.
Well, admittedly, I'm not the person who typically gets the pieces for the place, but I am getting ahead of myself. Quickly, and he sort of turns around and heads down the hallway again, walking with a quick pace, expecting you to follow.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Let's see what's up with this chap.
Oh, I'll be in the back. I promise. I'll catch up. Just not as fast as I used to be, dears.
Yeah, and he like kind of catches that, right? And he like takes a few steps and stops. Like, oh, right, fair enough. And he like dabs his forehead again. Look, there's not much time. We have to, at some point, open again. I don't really know how, but look, I was away on a short visit to New York this past weekend. I left Thursday before the hubbub of traffic to get out of the city. The weekend was fine. Obviously, no news of anything. I was looking to acquire some new acquisitions. And as he talks again, he begins walking again, just at a slower pace, down a short hallway to the left of this main room. The walls here are lined with paintings, various styles. Gertie, you immediately recognize the vast majority of them being a painter. And as he takes a few steps, he says, "My partner, Howard Lowry. I was here managing the gallery. When I returned home Sunday, I decided I would stop by on my way home to share what I had done in New York and see how the gallery got on without me." And then he, again, sort of more nervous than before, just stops walking altogether. He's standing at this point at the end of a hall, and he sort of gestures towards a door that sits off the main hall, almost like a closet type area. It's nowhere where foot traffic would go, and he points to it, almost nervous to close the distance. And as he does, he sort of fishes into his pocket. You hear the metal clanging of keys. When I arrived, however, there were police cars out front of the building, and I was told that my partner was dead. And he takes the keys from his pocket. You hear the ringing of the chain, and he walks towards this door, and he fuddles with the keys for a second with his back towards you.
Dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeez, man, I'm sorry to hear about Howard.
You poor dear. My own partner passed away recently, so I feel for you quite strongly.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And he eyes Herb for saying nothing. Anyway.
Lillian just kind of like gives him a discreet kick in the shin.
I shrug. What am I supposed to say? I'm sorry for your loss.
You didn't have to say anything. I wasn't implying. After a moment, he turns back again and unlocks the door to a small, dimly lit storage room. Metal shelves fill the assorted gear for the gallery. Strings, wire, hammers, they all line the walls. The concrete floor, however, has dark stains on it at the base of the door. And on the far wall of this room, beneath a single light bulb that hangs, you see a large painting, but it's draped in a white cloth, obscuring whatever image is there. Latasha Pace, our cleaning woman. She came in Sunday, as she does every Sunday morning, to clean and tidy, but when she reached this hallway, she found blood leaking out this door. And he's yet to take a step into the room. He sort of points down, and again you see the red stain extends to just below the doorframe. She called the police immediately, of course, and when they arrived, they found the door unlocked, and the body of Howard lying right there. He points to the deep red stain on the concrete just beneath the painting at the far side of the room.
How ghastly.
That's where they found him, and this is where I saw him when they asked me to come in and identify the body.
Did the police have any cause of death or anything?
Well, he had slit his own throat straight back to the bone.
Ah,
Oh my.
Jeez.
They ruled it a suicide, open and shut case. He pauses for a second, and he takes a breath and eyes each of you.
You don't think it was a suicide, do you?
The look on
I
his
think
face.
that's why we're here, yes.
The look on his face. It wasn't of sadness or depression. It was a grin, wide, a toothless smile. It looked as if someone had stretched his face nearly, but not in a monstrous way. It just a bizarre, concerning grin. It left me sick to my stomach, and I feel off about the whole thing. I told the officers that he never smiled like that. I explained to them that he didn't look his normal self, that giddy, that joyous, but they told me that there was nothing more to say, that the cut was made by his own hand and that he had died that way, and I believe it. I do. I believe Howard killed himself. I believe that it went down exactly as the officers said, and as they left with the body, I was here to clean up. I ran over all the reasons that he would have done it in my head, just not knowing him. And just as I was sure that he had hidden his depression just very well, I realized that we didn't have that painting when we left. And he points to the back, the large painting that's draped in a white cloth. Odd, yes, but beyond that, nothing. Until I looked at it. He steps across the room and lifts up the white sheet covering the painting on the wall. He sort of uncovers it in a flurry of white. The painting depicts a woman, chest high, her face filling most of the frame. She looks kindly and her skin is pasty white, yet the painting is all shades of red. Even the white has a tinge of red, as if being looked at through a filter. It seems relatively normal, save the devilish grin upon her face, wide, thin, toothless smile that looks as if someone had stretched her face. It was the exact same smile he had on his face.
Holy shit, that's grim.
I covered the painting.
I clearly take a couple steps back.
Yes, well, I covered the painting right away, and I headed straight to the telegram office to get you. I'd never seen this painting before. I have no idea where it came from. No idea. I need your help.
May I perhaps get a bit of a closer look? Is there
yes, just hold on.
a signature perhaps?
Well, I don't know, but
from
here's
the
what I need
artist?
you to do. I need you to find not just who did it, but why my partner killed himself. Where this painting, yes, comes from, of course, but I need answers as to him. And he steps back, raising his hands, sort of, okay, go. Do what you need to do.
Right. Well, Billy, if you would lend me a hand, I need to bend down to look at that painting.
Yeah, Gertie, come on. And Billy will take Gertie by the hand and lead her into the room and just kind of stand nearby to help stabilize as she bends over, and I think Billy will take the cloth off for her.
Perfect,
Gertie.
yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you notice that William hasn't entered the room. He sort of does this all from the doorway, and as you pass by him, Gertie steps back, kind of comfortable to be out by the hallway, dabbing his forehead as you sort of move about what you're doing. Yeah, you approach the painting, and as you reveal it, Gertie, you take a good look at this painting. Give me a sanity roll.
Oh.
So I
Yes.
want you to roll a D100 or 2D10. D100 on our little setup here will be the easiest way to do it. And you want to get under what your current sanity is. So what's your current sanity?
My current sanity is 70.
Perfect. So you just want to get under 70. That's not too bad.
So she's going from old lady to crazy old lady.
And you got 99. So that's like the worst, almost the worst roll you can get.
Off by one. Great start. Great start, guys.
Nice.
Case number 2, open
yeah.
and shut.
Woo!
So I want you to give me a 1d4 sanity loss, and you're going to lose that many sanity points. And as your sanity degrades, it is going to be tougher, obviously, to achieve these. But that's also just a terrible roll. So let's just give you a big old doom sound for that. That's a 2, I guess, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, so every time you
solid
roll, just click
negative.
reset, and it clears your roll.
Okay.
Perfect. Also, Liz, it's not pulling to you. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think you need to get up on that mic.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
All right, I shall try harder.
That's it. Perfect.
Yes, girl.
Halt in the mic.
Yeah, or even just like tap it before you talk, so it pulls to you. Because
Alright.
otherwise, it's looking at my ugly mug while you're doing your awesome girdiness. Yeah, so you get this overwhelming sense. Now, in Call of Cthulhu, full version, 7th edition, blah, 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 fuckity blah, you would get certain afflictions for the amount of sanity that you lose. I do that to a certain extent when it feels fitting. This doesn't feel fitting, and frankly, I don't want to do it. So I'm going to just ask you to role play. Yeah, Gertie, you look at this thing, and you can feel 2 points of your sanity draining. I mean, arguably, if you have 70, you said?
Yes.
So now 68.
Now 68. I mean, you can sort of justify what a 70 to 68 would feel like. If 70 is your entire life, everything you've known, you've never felt anything below that. So obviously something happens. And what is it, Gertie? Tell us.
Oh my, this... I've never quite felt so unsettled by a painting before. Is this actually painted with paint even? I don't... And Gertie just kind of wobbles a little and grabs Billy's arm really hard.
Oh, Goody, you don't look so good. You all right there?
I don't know. I might just have a little bit of the vapors, I think.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you wobble a little bit. I think that's great, especially for Gertie. I could see her doing that, but you steady yourself because Billy's right next to you. But you do get close enough to examine this painting. Give me a spot hidden, because you're looking for something. I guess you're looking around the painting, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Or you can give me an art. Justify whatever you want. If you think there's a better role that makes more sense that you're better at, go for that. As long as I can.
I'm going to go for my art painting because that's significantly better than my spot hidden.
Perfect.
And that is a 19, I believe.
Perfect. So if that is, yes, it is. So if that is below half of whatever your skill is, or a fifth, you can let me know whether that is a regular success, or a hard success, or an extreme success, and that will just sort of work throughout the game. So, and if you look in your character sheet, it will say the half and fifth numbers. So you don't have to do the math. So if 19 is below your half, it would be a hard success, which I would probably imagine if your art is very high.
It is a hard success, yes.
Perfect. So yeah, with a hard success, you immediately get the feeling that yes, this is paint, but this isn't paint that you recognize. There's something off about it, something uncomfortable about the brush strokes and the way that the paint draws across the canvas. More on that as you sort of approach the piece. You feel comfortable enough to sort of tilt it forward, and as you see on the back of the painting in fine scroll is a single piece of paper pinned that reads, "The Grinning Lady."
Ooh. You say the paper is pinned to the painting?
Yeah, like a very neat hairpin, with a pearl ending almost, except the pearl is just a little off-white, and it's drawn right through sort of the second canvas that typically covers, the half back of the portrait.
I would like to remove that from the painting. See if there's anything on the back of that paper.
Yeah, you take 78 psychic damage. Yeah, you take it off.
I die immediately.
And you die.
Daddy, no!
Game
Don't
over,
do
man.
it!
Game over.
No, are you kidding? That's when it starts. She becomes Ghost Gertie. You you remove it, and this very fine lettering, the grinning lady. You just sort of turn the paper in your hand. It's got age to it. It's not a pulp, book bound type paper, but a scroll. And that's what you get. There's nothing else in the back.
Lillian, would you like to take a look at this, dear? I think you might be interested. Something's written on this paper here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I crossed the room.
Don't look too closely at the painting, though. It's quite odd. I think it might have some sort of aroma. Makes you dizzy.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, do you cover it back up, Billy or Gertie, after this? I mean, Billy sort of saw you experience it. Gertie, you experienced it. Do you guys leave it uncovered?
I think I'd wave at Billy, like a vague, if you want to do something about that gesture.
Do a thing.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of picked it up so you could unpin it from the back. So I think I'm just going to pick up the painting and I'll go over to whatever wall or shelves there are nearby and I'll just put it like face side down, like leaning against the wall or the shelves.
Cool. Yeah, good call. Okay, perfect. So yeah, no one else sort of has any risk.
Yeah, I cross the room and I sort of peer over Gertie's shoulder. What is it, Gertie?
It says, "The Grinning Lady."
Have you ever heard of such a painting?
I haven't. It's very odd.
With a hard success, that'll carry over. You don't recognize that name. Yeah. It's nothing that you've encountered before. In fact, the art style isn't... Well, that's not true, actually. Fuck, I shouldn't say that.
What?
Nothing. Next turn. Billy, what do you do? Herb. Actually, no. Herb, what are you doing? You're sort of in the hallway still. You're near
I was
William
taking
Mann.
this in. Can you remind me the name of the man that brought us in here?
William Mann.
William? Okay.
Perfect. The man named Mann. Yeah, and you're actually standing near him. You see your team moving in. They're sort of talking, and he sort of side eyes you and taps his forehead and sort of looks away.
Yeah. So while they're kind of going over this and murmuring in the background, I think Herb is just gonna. So let me get this straight. The last time you were here, that painting was not on the premises. You didn't own that.
No, not at all. I've never seen that painting. I've never heard of that painting. I know nothing about it. When I left Thursday for New York, Howard, I should say, was going to manage the place. I think he was going to look at a few, maybe pieces, but I failed to think that he would necessarily take that one.
Did poor Mr. Lowry keep any notes on where he intended to look for acquisitions, perhaps?
And Howard sort of turns around the corner and he's like, listen, and he addresses you and Herb, and he's like, as soon as I found out all of this, I sent a telegram to you, and that was the extent of it. I have not went into his office. I have not spoken to anyone in his family. This is not for lack of wanting, but if someone is to handle this, I want it to be a professional, and you are professionals, right?
We assure you, William, consummate professionals, of course. Is there usually someone here who deals with receiving artworks, maybe at off hours? Do you have anyone who's like a stock boy or a blue-collar type worker? Someone who would have seen the painting come in? Maybe there's wrapping somewhere we could examine?
I mean, at regular hours, of course, we would have some people like that, but for a piece like this, no, we would bring it in ourselves.
And so it's likely that only Mr. Howard was the one who'd seen it at all?
Perhaps. I wouldn't be able to know. And he turns back to you, Herb.
Gertrude, you said you've never seen this before, right? You're pretty ingrained in the art community around here.
Oh, indeed. It is a most unique painting. I've never seen its like. I can see why Howard would want to pick it up for his gallery.
As you say the words, I've never seen its like, there's a little fleeting at the back of your mind. That's not exactly true. You've never seen this painting, and you've never seen an artist paint entirely in red of this like. But something about the painting does seem familiar.
Ooh.
That's...
There's something about getting old. I feel like there's something I can't quite pin down that... We'll see if something sparks this old memory. You know how I am.
And then she farts.
And
then Howard farts back.
Is there
Billy's
any
just like awesome. He's like,
it?
it's all good, Gertie. Don't fucking worry about it. Just waving the hair around you. You do you, sweetheart. Sorry, Herb. Go ahead.
That's okay. Is there any evidence of? You said you haven't been in his office. Maybe if we check that out, we could find evidence of a purchase, so to speak.
And he nods. He says, "Listen, I am absolutely. I want you to find out." And he says this to all of you. Why he killed himself, where that came from. I want answers. You have my full permission to look anywhere. And you get a genuineness. I mean, no one's rolling, insight on this fucking guy, but he seems pretty genuine in it, because I don't want to waste time on an insight roll.
And we assure you, we absolutely will get to the bottom of this. And I would like to just take one moment to say thank you very much for contacting us, and that we won't let you down, I promise. All right, team.
Roll deception.
Before we get started, you're paying us, right? We aren't doing this pro bono.
No, of course I would never.
Billy.
Ever.
Hey, I just want to be sure. I've been stiffed by a couple cab fares before.
And this is not a cabbie.
Sorry, did he say cab fares? I thought you...
absolutely not. You misheard him. He said fab fares, like fabulous clients of ours.
But yes, I will obviously pay you, of course. a fair wage. $50 a day is typically what most investigators would want. So I hope that is fair. And that's
yes,
like
that
double.
is fair, and that is what we would charge in such a situation.
And he like looks you up and down, Billy, and you got this like fucking cabbie, this like 74-year-old woman. I don't even know what really herbs like. He's kind of like this. I'm getting like a yokel sort of like country dude vibe. And then this like super haughty like 20-year-old fucking journalist. He's just like, I think I might have fucked up.
And we will address the billing for this particular case on completion and not before.
Right.
Everything goes through my accounting service anyway. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Perfect. Yeah. And he sort of nods. I do think like Gertie's the only one he's kind of like, right. His office is down the hall in the opposite direction.
You guys have a shipping bay or anything to bring stuff in, a back door?
Well, we don't deal with that many pieces all at once. This isn't an auction
it all
house.
just comes through the front then. All right.
For the most part, yes. And he sort of nods to each of you. He says, if you need anything, I'll be in my office. And he walks away.
Can we have the keys?
It's unlocked!
Oh, wonderful. That's good.
This is so exciting.
Yeah, this is,
Sorry, and he walks back. You're giving me the impression that you're very new at this.
No!
I'm kidding. He walks away. He's gone.
No.
He's gone. Yeah, so you're standing there.
Keep-
The painting
keep your
is
voice.
sort of turned around. You're in the storage room. Lowry's office, as you've been told, is sort of the opposite direction. What do you do?
Well,
Does
let's.
this room... Oh, I was gonna say, does this room have any windows or anything?
No, it's like a square concrete
Oh, okay.
room.
Never mind.
Can I roll spot hidden? I just want to take a quick look around the room, see if there's anything missing or anything
Absolutely.
additional.
Yes.
All right, here I go. Everyone,
you can do it.
wish me luck.
Hold
Good
on,
luck.
Butts.
Oh, that, my friend, that is a critical extreme success.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, you eye this small concrete room, and in the corner, you see nothing.
What?
Fuck you, nothing. No, I mean, think about. I mean, he's explained that police were through here, you know. So unfortunately, but great roll though.
Thank you. I've looked top to bottom of this room, and there's nothing here.
Yeah. No, but you feel really good on that.
I do.
I'll let you carry that over to the next one if you'd like, because that was a great roll.
Nah, that's not how this game works.
That's how I work. Welcome to my party, pal.
I like this party.
Plans.
Let's
I
go see
wanna
his
go to the
office,
office.
right? Yeah.
Yes,
all
let's-
let's
Let's check the office, of course. I do think perhaps I'd like to do a quick sketch of my impressions of that painting. That disturbing smile. Just so that I can remember
Are
it
you trying to
later.
go crazy, lady?
Yeah. No, that's fine. Sure. And you pull out your leather-bound so-and-so?
Yeah, I've got my nice big leather-bound sketch portfolio, and I grab a paintbrush.
I love the
and
idea
lick
that
the
Billy's
tip.
carrying it for you. You're like,
Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
Billy, the sketch pad.
I have a little backpack that I wear on the back, and she like just paints while we walk.
You're like
If
an
you would
animal
just-
companion.
I am an animal.
Unscrew
That is
the,
so
the
cool.
red for me, Billy. I don't think I'll need any of the other colors right now for this.
All right, yeah, you got so many different reds. I'll just here. This one's pretty good. Use this one. I like it. It's very red.
Yes, deep crimson. Good choice.
Nice.
Thanks. It looks red.
Yeah, give me an art roll. I want to see how well you duplicate it, you
Gertie's
know?
painting skill is fucking tight.
Yeah, I'm gonna say extreme. It's almost identical. Hard, it's like good.
And this is from memory,
Oh, that's an extreme.
right? This
Ooh,
is
yes,
from memory.
This
Yeah.
is from memory.
So this fucking lady, man, she like pulls out this paintbrush. She's
Fucking
like,
old lady.
and it's at the end. It is a stunning. I mean, not identical, luckily, because you would be rolling sanity, but it is the damn closest thing to fucking good job, Liz. Fuck.
These aren't my specialty, but I think this is quite close. What do you think, Billy?
Yeah, it looks pretty good, Gertie. I mean, I saw a glimpse of the other one, but I gotta say, I like yours better. It doesn't give me the heebies.
Oh, very fair. And
Cool.
Gertie just carefully pins the little pearl hairpin through her little sketch just so she doesn't lose it.
Cool.
Nice. So I'm going to say while you two were doing that, Herb and
Lillian.
My apologies. Lily. You two have made it to the office, and I'm going to say you even entered.
Oh, yes.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Yeah, the office, it's a plain office with stacks and stacks of art books and guides, many with names like great artists of our century. The single desk sits in the middle of the room. Again, a light illuminates the green writing pad on top.
And this is Lowry's office,
This
right?
is Lowry's office, yeah.
All
and
right.
you see a telephone, address book on his desk.
I'm going to toss the desk.
Like literally?
Yeah, no. I just want to see what's on this writing pad. Is there anything in the drawers?
Yeah, give me a spot hidden, or if you can justify any other rule.
I mean, you said I could roll over my extreme
Yeah, no,
success.
not in this case.
All right.
Sorry. I forgot what was in this room.
Here I go. 46. That is a standard success.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you looking? Just the desk?
Yeah, I'm focusing on the desk right now.
I'm going to roll over your extreme in a certain way, and it is not in a success, but while you search the desk and the drawers, you get the impression, based on how well you sort of scouted that room, that you didn't do as good a job scouting this desk, but you don't tend to find anything.
Herb?
What are you doing?
I'm looking through my skills here to see what might be relevant.
Yeah, so again,
you just did
spot hidden is a classic look. However, as my GMing style is, if you can justify any other role for a similar trait, I'm happy to take that bet. I may say no, but I'm happy
That
to.
was what I was looking. I'm still trying to familiarize this first time here, so I'm still trying to familiarize.
So many
Absolutely.
skills.
Just
Way
look at
too
what
many
you're best
skills.
at, and then make a
So
real good
many
argument.
Fire a gun at it.
I want to fire my gun at things in
I
the
want to
room.
shoot things and
Darkened
find.
What are you doing?
I want to look through the scope of
Do you
my
have,
gun
for
at
example,
the room.
Is your psychology higher than your spot hidden?
Psychology is 35. Spot hidden is 40 now, so I'll probably just roll spot hidden. I was kind of combing through the skills to see what I might have been better at, but a lot of them just don't really apply.
For sure. Just so you know, psychology is one that I've heard good cases for. You know, if you're looking at the way someone moves about a room, you might be able to replicate where they might have left. You know, and I mean, does it make sense?
Man,
No, but
chat's going crazy for Gertie. Everyone loves Gertie.
I'm going crazy for good.
Oh.
So I rolled 2d100. This is my first roll.
No, that's okay. So just one
Yay!
D. So
Get
just
it.
click the
Get it,
D100
Mike.
once, and then
Hold
give me a
on, I
roll.
can't hear Harlan.
Just give me the. Just click the D100 once and roll that, and that will be a culmination of the two tens, and it will give us the
Bro.
result. So that is a 90. So that is not a success. It's a
You did a
that's
bad
not
job.
successful.
bad roll. So you look around, you're sort of scanning the room. You watch Lily just tear apart this desk, and she like slams the desk. You know, she's like,
Ugh. I think I need Gertie in here. I feel like I'm missing something. Gertie! Gertie, darling!
A moment, Lily. Let me finish up this. Oh, Billy, if you'll screw that cap back on, I've got to go help Lillian.
I thought that was
You
going to go a
got it,
different
good.
direction.
Mm-hmm. Leave them alone for just a second in an
If
office.
you screw.
He just goes for it.
Yeah, and Herb, as you don't succeed at finding anything, but you do get the impression that this person was a bit haphazard. You look around these large stacks, and everything is a bit messy. Maybe a feeling that you recognize. I don't know what your life is. Well, that's not meant to be a diss.
No, I'm
messy
you're-
life.
You're thinking right in the vein because I'm like, how would a messy person keep their more recent stuff?
Yeah.
Are there any piles of papers with stuff that is like, I can just grab the top paper and take a read and see if it's anything important? I'm thinking like my mail pile at home. The most recent letter's always on the top.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you do sort of go to a pile and start pawing through the top, and you know the newest books are sort of about not all-time authors and painters, but more recent ones, and that's about all you get to by the time Billy and Gertie sort of shuffle through the front door of this office.
Herb, are you interested in the great works of Dunham? His ideas of portrait painting are brilliant. That's an excellent read.
He looks embarrassed. No. He just puts it back on the pile. It kind of
You're holding the book upside down. You're like, oh.
The whole pile falls over.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
not at all. I was just looking for clues.
I see. Investigate it. Good job, Herb. You said you needed help, Lillian.
Yeah. Gertie, I've been through this whole desk, and I feel like I'm just missing something. You know? When you get that feeling like maybe there's a piece of the puzzle that's just... I can't see it. Can you take a look?
Let me give it a go, and I will try a spot hidden of my own. Oh, yes, no, that didn't go well at all. That's a 70.
Yeah, no, you get the same sort of feel. You're kind of like, you sympathize with Lily. And then Billy comes in. Heroic.
Billy comes in heroically. Everyone else has failed their spot hidden rolls. And Billy rolls up with... Where am I? Where did I go? What did I get?
36.
I got a 36. I also fail.
Yay! And that's the end of our Call of Cthulhu game.
We did it.
No, I mean, ultimately, Call of Cthulhu does rely on finding certain clues, and other game systems tend to work around it. But I also have sort of a take 20 mentality in a case like this. If you are spending time in a room to look for something, and your investigator has sort of deduced that there is something worthy of finding, as Lily's role did dictate, then it's just a matter of time before you comb through everything. So what does happen is this feeling is so powerful, Lily, that you guys spend half an hour here just pouring through everything, and it's actually to William's delight that you are doing it. It shows that you are serious about this. And as half an hour goes by, eventually you're all sitting in piles of books and stuff pouring through this desk. And I'll say, Lily being the first person who actually succeeded, you do find something. As you're going once again through the drawers, there's actually a false bottom on the second drawer.
Ooh.
And your eyebrows arch as
They
you
do.
find.
Like that. It looks like this.
Let me see. Hold on. Wait. Go. Closer. Well, that's a bit too. That's too
I
much.
overdid it. I'm
Yeah, you
sorry.
overdid it. It's okay. You find Howard Lowry's diary, and I've dropped the handout into the handouts for anyone who's listening along.
Now, did we like accrue some kind of negative effect by having had to go through all of this?
Yeah, I mean, listen, everything in a mystery is typically based on time. If there is someone tied up in a basement somewhere, hours and days change that. So you don't know yet.
All
you
right.
don't know if this has been a negative yet. But sometimes time is of the essence.
I think I've found something pertinent. Okay, listen to this, gang. This seems to be a page of a diary. It says, "Have I ever known such bliss? Will I ever again? It offers me something I never knew I yearned for. It offers me desires that I hold only in my heart. From the moment I saw her smile, I knew I wanted to join her, so I shall. I can hear the whispers grow louder now. The voices are calling. They are welcoming me home. They're welcoming me to the forest. They're welcoming me to the forest amongst their young. I am home." What do you suppose that means?
I have to say, sorry, cut you off there.
That's very terrifying. He says something about a forest. Is there any forest near here?
Yeah, there's lots of forests sort of just north and west of Arkham.
Did a landscape painting there just the other day. Good hiking treat out that way. But I must say, it started out reminding me quite a bit of the love letters that I used to exchange with Flora back in the day, But then it did go a bit off there at the end, didn't it?
Do you think he's talking about a partner, about a flame, a romantic interest, or is he talking about the painting?
Given the off bit at the end. The painting would be my guess. It is a bit odd.
Getty, you're kind of familiar with this place. Do you know if Howard was married or seeing anyone? You know that about this gallery guy?
I can certainly rack my brain and see if I do.
I just yell out, "Hey, William!
Was Howard married?
Was Howard married?"
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely swing by his office at the end.
All
It's
right.
kind of rude to yell across the fucking building. Herb, you are I kind of get the impression that this is very much a place that Herb is familiar with, as we previously discussed. And as Lily pokes around the desk over this time, and as she reads this out, you sort of idly look around again. Why don't you give me a psychology roll?
Okay. 30. Psychology is 35.
So you got 34. So you succeeded by 1 point. So you succeeded. That's exciting. That's what
Very.
they want to read.
You did it!
I do want to say, and this is really important. We've talked about it before, but it's always an easy forgotten rule. But you can always spend luck points to adjust things in your favor. It is obviously a diminishing stat, but it is something that can sometimes tick it. Yeah, so you succeed at psychology, and Herb, as you're walking around, listening to this, you're sort of, for a moment, your mind drifts to this man, this sort of haphazard way he stacks books, and you look at the third pile you've knocked over. And as you are standing there, you sort of close the door to the office for the first time, and you see that his coat is hanging there. And just without thinking, you reach into your own pockets and feel the bits of paper that you have in there. And then you take that same note and you reach into his coat pockets and you find something.
Ooh.
You pull out a small piece of paper that I'm dropping now. And you can read that out for us, Herb.
Oh, yeah. Small part of me thought you were going to say hard candy.
Woo! Gertie's all over that.
Oh, yeah.
Pockets full of Werther's originals.
Let's see what we got. So I'm going to take the piece of paper out and look it over.
Yeah.
Friday. I'm just going to, not even prompting anybody that I
Yeah,
found
you just
something, I'm
start
reading
reading.
it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Lunch with David Palmer. Massey's money? Does that say Massey's? I think it does. And then nothing for the 15th. What's today?
It's the 17th, dear.
Good memory, Liz.
XP.
Yeah,
XP.
did anyone else... Okay, legit, did anyone else remember or write that down?
There's a reason I asked.
Perfect,
I
Liz.
started with Lowry House.
So Liz, I'm gonna give you a boon in this game. So like D&D or any other game, you can roll sometimes with advantage. So in this case, rather than rolling a 1d100 on whatever roll you want to use this for, I want you to roll 3d10, making the last your second number, and you can take the lower of the two 10s. Does that make sense? So, like for instance, when you roll and you're rolling a percentile around the table, you'd roll 2d10 and you would take one number from one and one number from the other to make sure. So you get a lower first number in a 2-digit out of 100. I explained that really
Nice.
poorly, but anyway, because you know what? I love when people take notes.
Yeah.
So he met with someone on Friday.
What's
Had some-
Massey's? Is
Had some
Massey's
concern about money.
like a restaurant or a bar?
Who are you asking? Me?
You, yeah.
Well, why would I tell you?
I feel like I would know.
Why don't you roll if you know?
All right.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I would roll credit rating because if it's like so it says Massey's and then 3.
Now listen here. That's a very smart use.
Right.
Yeah, go
There
for
you
it.
go.
Because I am someone with a bunch of money just lying around in piles at home.
Are you?
Well, my credit rating is pretty good. So I feel like Massey's $, I might know something about dollars.
Do you want to tilt your camera down a little bit? It's bothering me. You got like this much headspace.
Yeah, for sure. So I got a hard success.
So you recognize Massey's as a few different things. An awesome song by the Swingin' Jets.
Is this better?
Let's... Yeah, that's better. Look, now we get to see your whole costume. I should sit up too. And, but in this case, especially because this was a successful credit rating, you get the distinct impression that this might be referring to Massey's Auction House at 22 Emerson Boulevard.
I know a Massey's. Could be the auction house. Gertie, do you know of it? At 22
Emerson
Oh,
Boulevard.
the one on Emerson, perhaps. Yes. I believe I've sold a painting there. Or did I buy a painting there?
Both.
Maybe this is where Howard acquired the painting. What do you think?
It's certainly worth a look. Does anyone recognize that Palmer name?
You can,
We
again,
should
anyone want to
ask.
roll?
We should ask William. But what would be a good role for that?
Yeah.
Is he a historical figure? I have history.
Yeah, so I need to... The problem with this is I always need to open a character sheet to look at. But in the top, 9 stats, there's one called Idea or Know or something, or Intelligence.
Idea.
Yeah, is there one
Intelligence.
called Know, K-N-O?
Uh-uh.
Read them out for me. The Strength.
Strength, con, size, dex, appearance, intelligence / idea, power, education, and move rate.
So I would go either Education or Intelligence.
All right, I'm going to roll some intelligence here.
Yes, girl.
Do it.
Do it, coward.
Do it, Gert.
Here we go.
Oh.
It is an 84, which is actually a success by 1.
Wow.
Gertie.
Yeah.
I'm
Smart.
so smart.
Gertie with the big Bwain.
Play smart.
Can't wait for some monster to tackle her. Yeah, no, you don't know who this is.
Oh, boy.
I've no idea who this Palmer fellow is. Let's ask William on our way to the auction
Which is
house.
fair. I mean, what's the fucking right? You're like, oh, a random person's name on a piece of paper. I know him in fucking a city the size of Boston.
But I'm a socialite.
Listen, I am in no way saying that it wasn't worthy of a roll. I'm so glad you did because you never know. But at the same time, you never know.
Maybe I'm going to try. I'm going to try as well.
Don't do it. It's not. You don't know this person.
Oh, okay.
It's like a friend.
Can I try? I'm trying to figure out what skill would apply to this. But I'm trying to build a timeline in my head.
Sure.
We have a journal entry. When was the journal entry written? Do we know?
There wasn't a date on it,
It was just written.
right?
Yeah.
No, just written. No
Yeah,
date.
just written.
Can I compare this note with what I'm thinking is ink? Is it like long and faded? Because this is clearly handwritten, or are they both look relatively new?
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
it
if they
definitely
both
doesn't look
relatively
faded.
new.
Yeah, it definitely
Oh,
doesn't
they
look
don't?
faded. I would say it all looks relatively new, within the last week. It's tough to get a day by day based on ink drying, but
Yeah.
I'm totally with your line of thought. I think that's a great thing to start actually writing down, putting pen to paper. And I think as information comes, I think you're going to be able to figure out a timeline and ways to do that. It's a good thinking.
Here's what I'm thinking. He Massey's money. He got this painting recently, and then wrote this journal entry not long after he got it. Shortest time span, probably 3 days, assuming he got it on Friday.
All
yes,
right.
William did say everything was normal when he left, so I'm guessing perhaps this is all directly over the weekend.
Well, the cleaning lady found him on Sunday, or was it Saturday?
I
Can
believe
you
it was
remember?
Sunday. She comes every
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday, is what William said. Yes.
Yeah, so if you got the painting Friday from Mazzy's or picked it up, I mean, Saturday's kind of our window of the shit going down.
Well, let's ask William about David Palmer, and then let's go to Massey's.
Perfect. You leave the small office and head down the white stone hallway towards Man's office. It's ajar. It's just tiny, and he's in there. And you knock on the door, and it swings open.
I rattle it around.
One
Hey, you.
of my favorite jokes.
Give us the goods.
You see the small man sitting behind the desk, and he looks up to you expectantly, and with obviously a pain in his eyes, as if for a moment he forgot about everything that's transpired. Yes. What?
Do you happen to know who David Palmer is?
David Palmer. Yeah, I think it's just an old childhood friend of Lowry's. Yeah, they met up every once in a while.
Do you know how we
have
might
his-
get in contact with this person?
Yes, what Miss Dane said.
Well, on man's desk, he typically keeps a contact list, phone numbers and such. It should be right next to the telephone.
Oh, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Billy,
You're still back.
Yeah.
would you grab the address book from the office, please?
The one by the phone?
Yes, that one.
Got it.
It's like smash cut to Billy standing, and there's like this very clear address book, and then there's like two other random things, and he's like just staring down at it. He like picks up like a snow globe, looks at it, puts it down, looks again, picks up the address book, questions. Herb nods at him. He's like, ah. Yeah, no, you got it. There's like a phone number written on it. I feel like does Billy take this into his own hands? This moment of finding out what's up with David Palmer?
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
I thumb through it. I look for David Palmer, or maybe Davy Palm, or Palm Boy Dave.
D
I don't know
Palm.
how.
You see D period P period dash the jizz.
Deep
Jizz
Jizz,
man.
that's
That's
right,
what
yeah.
he calls him.
All right, let's see here.
D Jizzy.
And there's a telephone number there.
D jizz. D pizzy. D
Oh my
piss.
God.
Yeah, there's a phone number. It's like 5. It's the 20s.
It's 5. Excellent. It's the 20s. Number
6,
5.
4, 2.
Done.
Yeah. No, his number's there.
Oh, excellent. I'm looking at my skills to see if I have.
Chad
more
is
for that.
wondering, is this an office for ants?
Yeah. Is this an office for ants? Smash.
It's good.
Okay. I will go ahead and I will dial 5 for the DP Jizz.
Do it, yeah. And I'm imagining Herb is in the room with you as the girls are talking to, as the brains of the team, as they call it, as I call it, is talking to Lowry, and they don't even know that
not
you're doing this, which is great. No, that's perfect. And you pick up the phone, and you hear, hello,
Hey, is this David Palmer?
speaking.
My name is William. I'm calling with Lowry Gallery. Have you? Am I talking to the right person? Is this David?
Yes, of course.
David, are you aware that your friend Mr. Howard Lowry has become deceased?
What? This is how you tell me? What? Oh my god! Oh my god! Everything I've known! No, he's like, yes, it was a terrible tragedy.
Yes, it was. Me and my colleagues are.
He's laughing
current-
under his breath.
He's just like, he.
Me and my colleagues are just trying to get a hold of people who might have known Howard a little better, and we're trying to get a good idea of like who Howard was and what he was up to recently. Would you be able to meet us over at Mazzy's in like an hour?
No, but I can tell
That's
you
fair.
quickly. Listen, Howard was a fine man. I went to school with him. He loved art. He was very passionate about what he did. I had a lunch meeting with him that I had to cancel, unfortunately, before his passing. I regret it. I wish I had the opportunity to speak to him, but unfortunately work got in the way, as it does now. I promise that whatever happened to Howard, whatever they think happened, was not by his own hand. He would never do such a thing. Not the man I knew. And his voice breaks a little bit.
Well, I'm very glad to hear you say that. My colleagues and I have been hired by his partner. We're looking into his death. We're trying to figure out what is really happening here.
Well, I will help in any way, and if I think of anything, I will definitely give you a call. This is 5. Are you at 7? I heard that the 7 is really good at investigation.
Yeah, we're here at 7. If you give 7 a call, you should be able to leave a message with William Mann, and he knows how to get a hold of us.
Yes, of course. I've been there many times. Well, good luck and all that. Chip, chip, cheerio. Click.
Thank you. Is there a role in Call of Cthulhu that's like a sense motive?
Yeah, absolutely. Psychology.
Great. I don't have that. Cool.
Well, you have it. It would be like 1.
It's a shit roll. I'll do it.
You can
I'll do my first roll.
You haven't rolled yet?
No, I rolled once.
Oh, good.
74.
Yeah, no. You're like, this guy's the best. This
guy's on the up and up.
Yeah.
This is great. All right. I'll just keep this here list of contacts.
Number 5. Got it.
Number 5. Got that. And, Jeremy, why don't we go meet up with the broads?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And then while we walk over there, I want to thumb through the contact list and see if there's anyone who looks like they've been circled or underlined, or maybe something that was written a bit more hastily, as if a man had not written it under the most sane circumstances.
Billy, that's using your big boy brain. Good job. But unfortunately, no, there's nothing. But that's good thinking. That's the kind of thinking that's going to get you people through this alive. You head back. Meanwhile, the girls have been talking to Man. Excuse me. Apologies. Continue.
All right. Sorry.
Well, meanwhile, I want to see if they wanted to ask him anything.
Yep.
I don't know if you did.
Tell me, Mr. Man, do you know anything about David Palmer? Have you ever met him?
He's just a friend. Didn't you already ask me this?
Yes, but I want a quick reminder of your answer.
No, he's been a childhood friend. They meet up for lunch every once in a while.
For lunch every once in a while, yes. And well, good. Thank you. This has been a very enlightening conversation, illuminating.
I have a somewhat awkward question, William. Do you mind
it's
if
about
I call
7.5
William?
inches. You can call him. He nods. He's like, I want to help in any way.
Does Howard have a family to speak of? Like children, a spouse, a partner other than yourself?
Yes, he has a wife, of course.
Of course.
It's the 20s. A single man? Blah!
Indeed. But, how amenable do you think she would be to speaking with us?
She would be in shreds, but I recognize the importance of speaking to her. I personally don't think it would be of any use, but if you feel like it would be worthwhile, I would suggest a phone call rather than show up at her door. And he sort of gestures or looks as Billy and Herb walk back in, the 4 of you in the varying state that you are in, and ask her a series of questions.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you can give me a psychology roll if you'd like, or you can even go to an idea roll.
I would love to do an idea roll.
Go for it.
I think.
Yeah.
That is a success.
Big brain Gertie. Fuck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you get the impression that anything that police would have asked her, obviously his demeanor would have been different, but nothing so, illuminating that would, break this case wide open, because she wasn't the one coming to you necessarily. And, it's just good thinking, but not a necessary lead. as the GM or as the keeper. I'll tell you that much.
Gang, I think we should head to the auction house.
Let's do it.
I
Yes.
have one quick question as Mike first.
Yes,
Would
Mike.
it be safe to assume that Billy has filled me in along the way?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody, for the sake of this, everyone knows everything, unless you're very specifically like at another section of abandoned hospital running from haunted children. Ooh,
Whoopsies.
Spoilers.
Right before we leave, as they're kind of walking away, I'm just going to poke my head in the office door and look at Mr. Mann. Quick question for you. Mr. Palmer and Howard, do you know where they went to lunch?
Oh, varying places. There was a steakhouse downtown that they quite enjoyed, but no standard place.
Can I make a psychology roll? Because during the phone call, I noticed something strange.
Sure.
Palmer said he had been here
Yeah.
when Billy specifically said, you want to know where to meet us or something like that. But
Yeah.
it's just odd to me that he said he's been here often, but this guy didn't mention that.
Sure. Nice.
What is that?
That's
Is
a
it-
10.
Okay, my psychology is 35.
Yes.
And
So that's a
my
hard
half for that.
success.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, you get the impression that, no, he's not telling porcupines. He looks you up and down and maybe even senses your hesitancy and says, obviously, a lot of people came in here, and I typically, and he sort of gestures widely to his office, because you haven't really asked about his role, which is not a failing, but he sort of gives it to you. He says, I was more the silent partner. I handled the books. He handled the front of house, the art dealings, which is why I never saw that piece or even knew much about it. My role was primarily to be the second person. It is Lowry House, after all, not Lowry and Mann. And you get a sincerity from that. This is definitely the kind of guy who was brought in because he agreed with Mann's vision, but stayed silent for the most of it. He doesn't strike you by his demeanor and sweatiness, as he's a particularly charming, front of house type person.
It's strange. Mr. Palmer said he'd been here often.
I'm
Figured it
sure he
wouldn't
has, and I'm sure I've met him at once or twice, but not enough to mention him out of the fray of other people.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. We'll
No, of course.
be in contact if we find any.
Please. And yeah, you leave. The four of you head through the long walkway to the front door again, out into the steaming hot city, forgetting for a moment how swelteringly hot it had been outside with the fans inside the well-conditioned art gallery. And you all decide to get into Billy's taxi, I suppose, and head to the Massey Auction House, correct?
Beep, beep. Vroom.
Yep.
Yeah, and you head to Massey Auction House at 22 Emerson Boulevard. The Massey Auction House sits in the north end of the city, past the Miskatonic River. The old building looks like a renovated mansion. It sits 3 stories high off of the boulevard. The deep purple coloring on the outside makes the building look sinister and off in the bright morning light. The door opens to the street, up a small stone pathway in the front hall. As you enter, you see a small, mousy-looking woman with short hair. She sits at a typewriter. Despite her timid appearance, you immediately recognize an air of confidence and competence. It's clear that she's the one who organizes and operates the large machine that is Massey Auction House, and she holds up a finger to you, without breaking eye contact with what she's writing, to hammer out a few more lines before drawing her eyes slowly up and lowering her finger. She says nothing and waits.
Good morning, ma'am. I am Lillian Danes with the Arkham Trust, and we have a few questions about an acquisition.
And what is that?
Actually, my companion and colleague Gertrude has a.
No, sorry, I mean, what is the Arkham Trust?
Oh, well, of course, we are one of Arkham's newest private investigation agencies. We have been hired on behalf of our client to inquire about a piece of art that has passed through your doors recently.
Right. Well,
If we could please just have a moment of your time, really. It won't take a moment.
And like the phone's already starting to ring, and she's like looking. Yeah, 1 second. She holds up a finger again, answers the phone, turns away from you.
And I turn to Gertie. I'm like, we should show her the painting that you've done and jog her memory.
You know, auction houses were a lot more fun to visit before this whole telephone thing was invented. I must say, they gave proper attention to the clients right at the front of the house back in the day.
Gertie, give me a
Sass roll.
No, give me a credit rating.
Ooh.
All right, I'm gonna do my credit roll.
Because you're like a painter, you have clout. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Those are
I
the
think
things
it's a good
that
word.
clog up your arteries, right?
All right. That is a 43, which is a success.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm going to say this woman sort of like on the phone, and as she's doing it, she sort of like turns away from you guys, and then her eyes sort of drift over to Lily, and Lily's at this point stepped aside and turned, and she sort of sees Gertie, and is like, sorry, I have to go. Puts it back down. Sorry about that. Yes, of course, we're just trying to organize certain things for the weekend. It's Monday around here, which is the busiest day. My apologies. What questions can I help you with? And you must be, and she like sort of eyes you up and down, Gertie. You must be, you've been here before, have you not?
Yes, Gertrude Burling.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Well, I'd be happy to answer any simple questions. Anything more than that would have to go to Mr. Massey himself, of course.
We may need to see Mr. Massey, but I trust your competence here. One Howard Lowry purchased a painting from you. It looked something like this. And she just holds up her sketch.
Oh, well, that's something we typically don't carry here, but I suppose if it was bought here, of course, I'd believe you. Well, I mean, I don't recognize the name off the top of my head, unfortunately. And, of course, you must understand that most of our records, including people who have bid and entered the building in general, are strictly not allowed. When people are walking in off the street, she says, and sort of eyes over her shoulder to the hallway down the way, and you see there's like an office door down there, and then she looks back towards you. Maybe I should just get Mr. Massey.
Can I roll psychology on this woman?
Sure.
I want to figure out why she's nervous and whether we should actually be talking to her boss or whether she's nervous about her boss finding out or
Yeah.
what the heck is going on.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Hey, 19. So for
Get it?
me, that is a regular old success.
Yeah, she did it. She's the one. She's the murderer. Get it? No, she just
I shoot her. That's it. We're done.
she has this. Could you imagine? Bang, 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 bang.
Yep.
Yay! Prove it. No, she's just. You can tell that she has probably been dealing with a bit of bullshit all of her life. Obviously, someone who gets shot on by the higher aboves, but as the gatekeeper, and was really excited to start her Monday off by shutting some lunatic out until she saw the clout of Gertie and just sort of maybe not recognized her in truth, but saw the way she carried herself, the way she held on to like a boy that's like steadying her, the way that she just was wearing fancy clothes, and realized that she might have put her foot in it, and now she wants to wash her hands of it so that she can't make up any excuses as to putting anyone out on the street that should have been here. She's just eager to get you out of here and into someone else's responsibility. That's all. And she did it, obviously.
Maybe we should speak with Mr. Massey.
Yes, I think so too. I think that makes the most sense. Why don't you just sit here? He's obviously very busy, but I'll talk to him. And she stands up and kind of walks down the hall.
It's a hot day, dear. If you could get me a glass of water while you're up, thank you. And
You can,
Gertie
like-
just kind of delicately lowers herself into the nearest chair.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, of course. And you turn around and you can't even see it, but you feel the scowl on her face as she turns
The
around.
eye roll is
Yeah, and
palpable.
like her eyes are basically on the back of her head at this point because she rolls them so hard. A few minutes later, without water, she's gone, but you do see a man walking down the hall. Sort of a younger man, maybe early 30s. He has neatly parted hair. He's wearing a very nice three-piece suit, all in sort of a striped gray, a red tie. He has bright blue eyes, and he looks at each of you in the front hall and nods. Good morning. My name is Mr. Massey, Noah Massey. Susan said that you needed some help.
Yes, Mr. Massey, pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Lillian Danes. Do you have a moment for us?
I suppose so. And he again sort of eyes Gertie and says, "You must be Gertrude, what was your name?"
Burling. Yes,
Burling?
Gertrude Burling.
He would know that. He's like, "Gertrude Burling, you've been here a few times." And this is the kind of guy that you know memorizes people. You know, this is his business, people. I thought I recognized you. You bought a few pieces, and I think we've actually sold a few of your pieces. Please, follow me. And he leads you back into his office. You enter the thick oak door where Susan, the secretary, is standing to let you in. And Gertie, you sort of raise a hand, and she just like slips out and shuts the door behind her. As you, like,
Oh, goodness.
and you're standing in this lavish office. You see a large leather sofa, tall bookcases that reach the ceiling as far as you can see, a large window that lets in lots of the natural light, and it's cool in here. Noah, Mr. Massey, walks behind the large desk, gestures for you to have a seat, and sits down himself. Now, how can I be of service? I am obviously very busy, but not so busy that I can't answer a few of your questions. Susan made it seem like you were here for some sort of investigation duty.
Well, I am certain you're familiar with the Lowry House.
Yes,
The art
of course.
gallery in town, yes.
Yes.
My understanding is that Howard purchased a painting from you this past weekend.
Yes, he did.
We were interested in where he sourced that painting, where you acquired it from. It's unmarked, you see, no artist.
Well, yes, it's a bit of an odd duck, that one, and if I remember correctly, do you mind if I call you Gertie, or would you prefer Miss Burling?
Gertie is wonderful, yes.
If I remember correctly, Gertie, you were a painter yourself, an artist, correct?
Yes, and I always sign my paintings.
Yes,
No.
well, as I said, this one was a bit of an odd duck, and he sort of stands up, adjusts himself, and walks towards the window. Yes, I heard about Mr. Man, terrible shame, and he turns back with a sincerity in his eyes. Mr. Lowry was here on Friday, I believe. He bid on only one item, a painting by the late Oliver Bright. And the name immediately sparks Gertie. You see it line up 100%. There's no signing. The colors are different, but the strokes, the impression, it's there. But the name stews over you as he continues. I, in part, I should say the Massey House, work for the city. Occasionally, when a property or various items become available, I'm contacted to assess, appraise, evaluate items to be sold at auction in order to pay off the deceased's debts. So, the city can acquire the property. Well, last month, I was given the address of a property of this sort. Items within the Everett estate in Leary, Massachusetts, were to be appraised and auctioned in accordance with my agreement with the city. I, however, do not personally do this, not in cases such as this. So I contacted one of our appraisers that I use for sort of, this type of thing, Nora Robinson. I had her in last month, discussed the job, gave her the address. That was it. Well, the week after, she contacted me with a list of items to collect from the property. She personally oversaw the collection of the items and the transportation here. During the month, we assessed, cataloged the items for our auction on Friday. That was it. She was here on Friday morning before heading home. That's as much as I know about the painting and Lowry's acquisition.
Did you have the opportunity to see the painting yourself?
No. Unfortunately, as I said, I am very busy. I trusted Nora to make the right call. There is a bit of sadness in his voice. You can't tell why. Is it from not seeing the painting or from hearing man's passing? But there is definitely something that he has.
And, do you have the contact information for Miss Robinson?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I can have Susan get that to you. Obviously, I don't have it on me right now.
We would appreciate that very much.
Of course. Are there any other questions I can help you with?
This is going to sound quite a bit odd, but did it seem as though anything was wrong with Nora when you saw her last?
Not Nora, no, not that I could tell. Admittedly, I don't think I interacted with her all that much. She came here, dropped out the pieces. I think I thanked her, but beyond that, it wasn't more than a meet and greet.
Just a few more questions,
Of course.
Mr. Massey. Are you aware of any kind of disruption to the auction? Was there a high degree of competition in the bids for this work, or was Mr. Lowry largely just the only bidder? Are you well informed as to the history of bids for this work?
No, not too well informed, but from my understanding, no, Lowry was the only person that bid on that painting.
Very interesting. My final question, what were the conditions of this estate sale? The occupants died of old age, or moved away without any notice?
I believe it was a husband and wife that passed away. Nora would have the full details. Honestly, I might be mixing them up with another house.
Of course. The Everett estate, you said.
Yeah, the Everett Manor. I remember the name of it, where it was, and I remember assigning Nora to it because I was occupied with others at the time. But, yeah, I have conflicting memories about exactly what the house was. It was about a month ago now that we got the actual request from the city.
Understood.
How long have you had the work of art in your possession before the auction?
I believe it was here for the full month, but typically the pieces don't stay anywhere other than the back room. Nora herself did travel to make the actual assessments while it was on the premises, but again, she comes in through a servant's entrance, heads up to the gallery herself, and then back out. I feel like I'm a bit underrepresented here. I do a lot, and I know it doesn't seem like I do. Most of my stuff is front of house, you must understand. So
Of course, Mr. Massey.
I don't want to give the wrong impression. Obviously, man's passing was tragic and, frankly, a little bit confusing. I got the impression that Howard himself...
Lowry's passing.
My apologies. I got the impression that William himself was a bit concerned with it, and I'd be lying if I said I was surprised that you were here. He seemed insistent that there was more to it, and I hope he finds everything he can.
Of course. Allow me to just say that you are, of course, under no suspicion of any wrongdoing. We're merely trying to accumulate as much information as we can about the case before we proceed with our investigation.
I promise you I didn't think I was, but you're more than welcome to ask anything. And he sits down in the high back leather chair.
I kind of look backward at my companions.
Billy.
Billy and
Yeah, what is Billy
Herb.
saying? What's he doing? Get us some Billy. Need more of this guy.
I want Billy.
Do you have, you said he was the only one who bid on it. What did you end up paying for it?
Perhaps I overspoke. I am very happy to disclose any information. Why am I British all of a sudden? Maybe I overspoke. I am very happy to disclose any information that I have. But in terms of the actual sale price, I am unfortunately legally obligated not to disclose that for multiple reasons. One, because the money's not entirely going to us. It is going back to the city. And look, genuinely, I would tell you if I could, but it's out of my hands.
All right.
As one mass accent to another, you know I'm telling the truth.
No, I got you, pal.
Hey, I got you.
No,
I love your hat, by the way.
I love you too.
Get over here, you fucking know.
All right, we gotta go get some lobster later.
Yeah, fuck yeah. What about you? Herb.
It's hard to get out of the accent once you start, huh?
Yeah.
I have a thought running through my head. I want to try to word the question exactly.
Yeah, and this is a great point to just pause the action and let you guys know that this, in my opinion, is the meat of Call of Cthulhu. Talking to people, rolling psychology, rolling persuasion, getting more from them. Every person you interact with. I mean, the first guy gave you the quest, so I wasn't too interested. But this is a prime example of a character that you want to, question and poke and prod and push as much as you can information out of him, because almost every person you meet like this does have more to give. It just has to be the right thread.
Sorry, you said you can't tell us how much was paid for the item because the money was going to the city. Correct?
Yes. Well, a percentage of it, obviously. Fucking British again. A percentage of it, obviously. There's a majority of it going to the city, but because we are the people sort of doing the middle work, we have to pay our people and take a percentage of it ourselves, yes.
An odd thing to me. Normally, cities, government, want to be very good with their books.
Well,
Strange that wouldn't be accessible information.
oh,
I understand for your clients, but it's
well, I
find
mean
that
to say
strange
that
to me.
if you were okayed by the city to view said information, I'm sure I would be more than happy to disclose it. I'm only trying to protect exactly every party here. Not to mention the sale is not technically final. I mean, yes, he said the check, but this was, 2 days ago now? It's Monday, and he bought it Friday. I'm not even sure that we've processed the payment yet. I'm not sure exactly what...
Haven't even been paid for it. That's interesting.
Technically. I mean, I wouldn't look too far into that in terms of just the way the world works and banks not being
The
open.
Lowry house has good credit, Herb. I'm sure it's not a problem.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that either. He's bought many pieces from us in the past.
I do have one small request to make.
If
of
it's
you.
water, I ain't getting you no fucking water.
No, it's a phone call of sorts. If you wouldn't mind reaching out to Nora and letting her know to expect us.
Sure, I could do that. Sure.
Is there anything else we want to know, guys? Out of character
I
here.
have a question.
Ask away.
So he said that they've had the painting for
A month.
a
Correct.
month. That's a long time for this painting to be sitting. I would really.
Sorry, let me make sure.
He
'Cause
might
you said
have just misspoke too, but
No, sorry. During the month. So
Yeah, the
you know what?
request
Maybe I
for the
missed.
estate was.
Yeah, the request was a month ago. He told you that he sent Nora out to the house to appraise and transport. The pieces came here for the auction on Friday. So no, sorry, I misspoke.
okay.
They
I
were
was like, I want to talk to the person who works
Yeah.
in the warehouse who
Well,
might have not.
here they were cataloged and I guess photographed or whatever they would do, and then sort of put out to auction. So they were here for an amount of time. I would say maybe a week in a meta sense. So we'll just retcon that because
Okay.
he misspoke as I did. Fucking guy misspeaking.
So many hands kind of seen this painting as it's passed through your doors, right?
Well, I wouldn't say many. Nora obviously was the person on the scene. She would have been the only people that would interact directly with the pieces. We've got a few of them from the estate, obviously. This wasn't the only one. But, yeah, I mean, there might have been...
And have you heard from Nora since?
No, she was here Friday morning. It's the weekend. I wouldn't expect to hear from her. I don't have any work for her right now.
Dun, dun, dun.
What did you hear that? There's like an organ in the background somewhere. Some fucking guy. Hey, Johnny, you play with that organ? That's for sale. Don't touch it. And again, if you're ever stuck or if you ever want to know if there's more, you can always roll an idea roll with a specific question, you know, kind of being like, should we be asking about this or is there something we're missing or whatever? And I can guide you in that terms too.
I do have a question. I recognized the name of the painter, Oliver Bright.
Yeah.
Is there a role I can do for any information about that man?
Yes, please give me a roll about that man, which I would call probably an art roll.
All right. I shall do an art roll.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No?
What?
What's your art?
My art is 75.
Yeah, no.
But you could spend luck.
You just know that
what?
that's too much. You can't spend more than
Too
2
high.
luck, unfortunately.
That's a lot.
Oh, really? Oh.
You know that you recognize the name. It's somebody that you've heard about, which doesn't mean that you can't find out more in a more tactile sense. Remember, libraries and newspapers are at the core of a game.
Let's go to the library.
Let's all go to the library.
I'm going to just quickly roll an idea. I want to know if there's something that this guy's not telling us or something I could be pushing him on right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I succeed. 51 to a 70.
Yeah, he told you the story of, I mean, your goal here is to find out where the painting came from. and you found half of that tale. You know that it came from a house, and that he gave it off to him. But as he sort of spoke about the house, he's missing a piece of this picture. He doesn't understand why you guys are concerned, so he has no reason to be concerned. So maybe framing a little bit more about why you are suspicious about this death might give him more reason to question things that he has seen. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Mm-hmm. Because again, this is important for Call of Cthulhu. If you go to somebody and you ask them for information, they're going to tell you what they think you want to know. But if you say, hey, we're looking into this because my sister is missing, he might be like, well, it's funny. I heard a woman screaming. Like that's kind of the way people's minds just tend to work, because you don't go, hey, you're here for the the book, the job.
I feel like this is Herb's place, our like friendly paranoid.
That's what I was thinking, because I've been looking at this intimidate skill for a while, and I'm like, I feel like there's someone here who is gonna fold if I push a little.
Well,
and
I should clarify. You don't get the impression that he's like withholding. It's not like he's like,
I mean,
I
like,
know something. Yeah, it's just that
you're kind of establish a sense of like danger or urgency.
Well, what I mean to say is that you haven't given enough of your story for him to understand what you are, and this is investigating in like the grand sense. You walk up to somebody and you give them a bit so they understand what you're there for. From his understanding, you're here investigating William Mann's death, or Howard Lowry's death. He came in, he bought the painting, and he left. That is the extent of it. He doesn't know how he died or why. He knows nothing about the painting's connection to his death. Revealing that may make him, because you've asked questions about the painting, but you haven't specified why. You understand what I mean? And this is where it gets to that realm of, and I want to make this clear, but do you want to tell him too much? Because I'm not saying you're playing it wrong in any way, but sometimes revealing strings of the occult is what's going to make people feel connected in that sense.
Do you guys mind if I step in here?
Please.
Okay.
Go for it.
He pulls out his double barrel shotgun.
No. So let me a note here with names that I've been getting as we go. Mr. Massey, I have one question for you. So I ask who has seen this painting and touched hands with it, because in our investigation we found something interesting. Mr. Mann, the deceased, had kept a
Mr.
journal
Lowry,
of sorts.
the deceased.
Lowry. Oh, it is.
I do the same. I kept doing the same thing too.
I just picture Lillian over there with her reporter's notebook, tapping it with her pencil.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Lowry. Actually, it's Lowry.
Yeah, that's
Thank
good.
you.
That's so funny.
Not quick on the uptake with Mr. Lowry. Kept a journal of sorts, and it seems not very long after he acquired the painting from you, he became, from at least the writing of his words, obsessed with it to a unhealthy degree, which is quite strange considering the garish nature of the painting itself.
That's right. You haven't seen the garish painting, have you? And
No.
Gertie whips
No, of
out
course not.
her
I mean,
copy.
like I said, Nora did.
She
Oh,
whips
It
out
looks
her
like
what?
this.
yeah, and he's like, "Oh wow, that's I didn't realize it was so horrific."
Stranger still, Mr. Massey, and not to alarm you, but the deceased was found with a similar facial expression. It's all very strange.
Wow, well that definitely gives more light to your line of questioning. Well done, investigators. And he winks loudly at the camera.
He winks loudly.
Yeah. And he's like, interesting. I didn't realize that it had such a sinister feel about it, to be frank. In terms of the nature of the estate and things like that, I mean, I do suppose there was an issue with the company we used to move. A lot of them complained that the house, something was off, that there was whispers or something. I believe Nora had to go through another company just because the first people didn't go too far into the house. Now, that doesn't amount to all that much, but I recognize that that maybe you're framing this in a different light. I thought maybe Lowry was just depressed and you wanted to understand exactly what was going on in his life, But obviously this painting speaks to some struggle that he was facing, or more.
Sorry, did you say whispers?
Going
that's
to
what they
say,
said.
Herb, whispers. That's from that paper. Yeah.
That's very strange to us because he did mention something similar in his ravings.
Ravings. Wait, did I go back?
It's a bit of a love note, only maybe an unhealthy kind of love,
Well,
The
again,
kind
I
that
don't
whispers in trees.
I didn't know him in a personal sense, so I can't speak to the guy's character. But this is to say that if what he spoke of was similar, I don't see the connection myself. But obviously, that's why you're here. Is there anything else I can help answer?
Just one last clarifying point. You said that Nora Robinson is the one handled the acquisition, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And you utilized another company to pick up the goods, or is that through you as well?
No, in this case, I typically, because Leary is a fair bit out of town. It's maybe an hour plus drive. When I assigned it to Nora, and this again is why I didn't handle it myself. If it was in the city, it'd be different. But I handed it to Nora so that she could organize this. From her reports, when she called me every once in a while, she'd let me know that the transport company who was originally clearing the house of the goods was uncomfortable with the nature of the manor. Again, at the time, I sort of brushed it off, but who knows?
Nora will probably have the information for that company as well.
The company, as well as any more information about, obviously, this painting. She was the one who dealt with it.
Well, unless we have any other questions, Mr. Massey, thank you so much for your time.
Of course, like I said, I'm here, especially it's Monday, so I'll be here all week. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call. And I'll give Nora a ring, let her know you're coming.
Oh, one last question on the way out. Do you have any other objects d'art from the house, perhaps?
Yes, a lot of them, all sold at auction, but you can see the catalog on your way out. Susan has them.
Wonderful, yes, thank you.
Good luck, and he says, opening the door and sort of ushering you out.
We go swing by Susan's desk.
Yeah, she gives you a catalog. She scowls, spits in your water.
We could also get that contact information for Nora, Susan.
Yeah, she's like, yes, of course I did it. And she hands you a piece of paper that has like an address on it, which is 12 Briar Lane. And that's that.
Anything interesting about this catalog?
You leaf through, you see a number of paintings that immediately jump out to you, Gertie. These are the paintings of Oliver's work, the ones that you recognize. These are most definitely the pieces that have struck you. This is why his name is present on your mind. But they are only in technique alone, I should say, similar to the latest piece. So it is framed there in a small portrait, but doesn't stir anything in you.
Just to be clear, this artist, Oliver Bright, was collected by the residents of the Everett Manor, or was he himself an occupant, or do we know?
You didn't ask.
All right. Well, I think we'll just have to do some research.
Yes, you will.
All right.
So, where to now?
Sounds like 12 Briar Lane. You know where that is, Billy? You'll be driving?
Yeah, I think I know.
Billy knows everywhere, always.
Billy has a 60 in Navigate, which is okay.
No. See, here's the thing. You're a cabbie, so
I am a
Arkham
cabbie.
is a pass. You know everywhere in Arkham. Navigating will be outside, if you end up going. But, I'm not going to make a
I
fucking
know where,
cabbie.
and of course I know where Bry Lane is.
No, cockier. Give me more. This is Billy's chance to shine. This is the moment where all these other people have done all this shit, and Billy, someone just turned to you and said, "Hey, do you know this thing that you definitely know?"
Does a lobster know how to wear red?
Perfect. And you get into Billy's cab.
Yeah.
And we get
Yes.
into Billy's cab.
He's like so excited to get you there too.
I just kind of imagined him like, which one? The one on the north end, south end, the one in between these two?
Yeah.
Like,
You
No,
want to
no.
You want to come
No.
up from the east, from the west? Which way
No.
you want to come? Where you want to fucking park? You want to park? I'll show you park.
I do a K-turn,
yeah.
a parallel park,
with your
For
eyes
sure.
closed.
Yeah.
with my eyes closed the whole way.
This is your moment, Billy. Don't miss it.
Billy invents drifting.
Billy invents drifting. That's a new RPG. If
It does sound like one.
yeah, I'm
It does.
doing it. So I've just decided that one night in the future, maybe next week, maybe a year from now, I'm gonna have James back for an RPG that I'm gonna write called Billy Invents Drifting, where it's just a story of this character. But like, I'm gonna make it real weird. It's gonna be like, like 2001: Space Odyssey, where like Billy sees himself as an old man and like a young man. It passes through space, and like it's the story of this
I'm
moment.
there for it.
He's
You
like
might say
frozen
they
in
drift
time.
through space.
Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be everything.
Oh.
What happens is in this moment he's driving and he slams on the brake and he drifts and time freezes, and then the RPG happens, and then he goes back to this moment. And so when you stop drifting, Billy, and you just have this weird feeling wash over you, like you've just experienced an entire lifetime in that single second. And you guys all see this.
Listeners can just insert this future RPG
Yeah.
into this moment here.
So welcome back. You just watched Billy Invents Drifting. We're going to continue on with Call of Cthulhu, the Devil's Cave.
Yeah.
The apartment of Nora Robinson sits atop an old barber shop. A small flight of iron steps that are hot enough to scald you leads to the second story of her one-bedroom flat. Assuming you head up, ring the bell.
Yeah, dude.
Perfect. The four of you clamber up, ring the bell, and knock. But there's no answer.
Dun, dun. I try the handle.
It's hot.
Ow.
It's locked.
Do you need a hanky to protect yourself, dear?
Oh, it's locked.
Oh. Have you tried knocking harder?
I do.
You knock harder, and you've solved it. Cthulhu's dead. There's a small transom window above the door, and sort of one around the corner. There's a ledge, maybe 1 foot wide, with a one-story drop to the pavement
I feel
below.
like we wait like a solid minute and nothing happens, and I knock harder at Gertie's suggestion and nothing happens. And then I'm like, all right, someone boost me. I want to like scurry through that transom window. You said it's open.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel
I'll
like I
boost,
can.
I'll cut my hands. All right. Ready, Lillian?
I'm ready.
All right.
Give me
Up.
up. Give me a dexterity roll.
All right.
I'm gonna keep lookout because this is crazy suspicious.
Yeah, never thought Herb would be the one to say that, but I agree. It is crazy.
Well,
we go.
Herb was about to go, do I hear someone yelling, and then take out a lockpick?
All
I
right.
think Herb's just the one smart enough to be worried about being caught.
Yeah.
Can I succeed with
experience.
a straight up success?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to use 7 points of luck to get through this window.
Oh shit.
Get it. Yes. Burn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Burn that.
Can't take it with you
finite
guys. Can't take it with you.
You pay through the nose to get this success, but you do, and you tumble through. The
I hit my head real hard on the glass.
and you hear her fall on the other side. You sit up. The flat owned by Nora Robinson is stiflingly hot. The still and humid air clings to your skin like a set of clothes. But before you can even react to the heat, you see the body of Nora laying on the carpet in a pool of deep red blood. Her simple brown shoes are scattered beneath her, and the once white cardigan she wears is now stained red from the pool she lay in. Despite the bullet hole clean through her skull, the simple clothes and her folded hands across her chest almost make the scene peaceful until your eyes fall upon the horrid and inhuman grin plastered upon her face.
Knew it.
Lily, give me a sanity roll.
Damn it.
Not good.
That's a fail.
That is a fail. 1d6 sanity, please.
Here we go. That's a bad roll.
That's the worst. Yeah, you have a full like panic attack before they even know what's going on.
I feel like I just slump back against this locked door and sit down on the ground and just start hyperventilating.
Oh no, does
Oi, you
anyone
okay?
here? I heard a thud. Do you think what if she hurt herself in there?
Crap.
A few moments pass. Actually, maybe you're kind of frozen a little bit because I was explaining that there is a larger window to her apartment that's accessible along like a 1 foot wide little ledge. And I don't want to roleplay anyone's character, but I get this impression that Billy is like a little antsy, so maybe he tries to go in another way.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll as soon as I hear like the hyperventilating and stuff, I will just look around and I look up and I'm like, yeah, I can't jump that. And then I see the ledge and I'm like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Billy time.
Billy time!
Give me a dexterity roll, Billy time.
Billy time. Billy time. Gonna fuck it up. Gonna roll the 100. And I got a 54, which is a success.
Nice. Yeah,
Billy
Billy time.
time.
Billy time is full action. You like roll up your sleeves and shimmy along this
Shimmy
little
it.
thing. Yeah, and there's a larger window, and you see Lily like sort of in the fetal position against the back of the door. You see Nora. You see everything I just described.
Is the window unlocked?
I mean, yeah, probably, unless you want to Billy time it.
Punch right through.
Yeah, that's the way I. That's the new.
He's coming off the line of invention.
I wanna try
Billy
it.
time. Smash.
Falcon punch. Yeah. I'll wrench the window open and
Cool. Yeah.
pop in.
It's you can like feel the heat from inside. It's so warm.
Ah, jeez.
Yeah, Billy, you enter and see everything that you've just seen.
Okay.
Or that she's just seen.
Oh, fuck.
Billy.
Hey. And I'll go over and I'll sit down and just like kind of kneel in front of Lillian. I'll be like, hey, look at me. You good?
Oh my God, Billy.
I know. It's oh God, it's gross. But hey. Remember, focus on breathing, all right? Breathe in slowly. There you go. Now out through your nose. Which for any of you at home, if you're trying to not hyperventilate, don't do it that way.
Okay. But Billy doesn't know better.
Billy doesn't know
Billy
any
doesn't
better.
fucking
James
know.
is so into the role playing. He's just like,
I just don't want to give people false information here. And I'll just reach up and I'll unlock the door and kind of just shift Lillian over so the others can come in.
perfect. Yeah, you all enter seeing exactly what Lily has seen. And as sort of Billy time is fading, you all look at the body of Nora as well. Why don't everybody else give me a sanity roll?
Oh yeah, join me, suckers.
Oh crap. So quick question.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my sheet here. Sanity is it the? I see there's like a big pool of numbers. Is sanity the number that's right above that?
It's yes, exactly.
Okay. So not terrible.
No.
Whew, I scraped by.
Nice.
I did good as well.
I passed. I'm
Perfect. So
pretty sure.
everyone
Yeah,
who
I passed.
succeeds takes 1 point of sanity.
Good job, guys.
Okay. Cool.
Sometimes you just go
cool.
crazy no matter what. And yeah, you see this. You see the body, you see the blood, you see a bullet hole, and you see the grin.
Is there a gun?
Yes, that's a great question.
Yes, there is.
Is it in her hands or is it on the? Where is it?
Yeah, it's in her hands, sort of just on the floor.
Weird. I guess because they're very old guns. I have a firearm skill. I'm wondering if I can use that to determine if this was like one. You said that her hands were like crossed, right?
Yeah.
Which is weird if she shot herself.
Yeah. Maybe I wrote that poorly. or admittedly, maybe there is no gun because I didn't write there was a gun, but I don't know how else she died. Let me read this real quick.
The gunshot was mentally inflicted.
Yeah, I think she just looks peaceful. Let's just say her hands
Okay.
are not.
But it's clear. It looks like she shot herself.
Yes.
Okay. Can I kind of like look over the weapon and see if there's any way to tell if it's kind of recent?
Absolutely.
Like that?
Yeah, I mean it's give me a firearms roll.
Michael
Yeah,
and Brianna want to know if the gun has a grin.
It does. It's a grin. It's like pew pew.
My firearms is a 50. That's a 57. I don't have a lot of luck though.
Yeah, luck is gonna diminish the more you
I
use
only
it,
have
obviously.
20 luck total. So it's not...
Oh yeah.
Holy
I
crap!
thought I rolled badly. Dang.
Oh,
I
man.
rolled a 1, a 2, and a 2. So it's
Oh, no.
So it's
Jeez.
fitting that you don't have a lot of luck, really. But
yeah.
yeah, no, you can't really. I mean, you get the impression that she definitely fired it. It's self-inflicted, but you can't tell when, which is fair because it'd be pretty tough anyway. It would have been probably an extreme to make it. So yeah, what do y'all
A
do?
thought just occurred to me. Was the barber shop downstairs open?
Yes.
Be
No.
very weird to me. No.
Yeah, Monday morning. Yeah, it's opened. Yeah, it is.
Wonder if because there's a part of me that is really suspicious that she shot herself and the cops have not been called, especially if there's a business right below it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Herb, though, look at this body. The blood is the blood like congealed? Does this look fresh? Can I roll a spot hidden and answer these questions?
Yes, you can. You can roll medicine. You can roll blood. You
I
can
know
roll-
blood.
Yeah, roll blood.
I will.
There's a secret skill, by the way, called blood that I've just made up.
Yeah,
you
I,
don't know
I
shit.
fail. I don't know
Yeah,
anything.
you're like, that's probably blood, but it might not be.
Really upset, and I just...
I'm not sure where this blood is coming from. Maybe the hole in her head?
Who can really say, though?
Not me. What are the other...
Gertie is going to very responsibly recommend we should probably contact the local constabulary, but I'm going to look around before they get here, and I'd like to roll a spot hidden to just kind of search the room.
I think it's a great idea. And when you're doing it that cool, just call it a spittin', because I think we can
Don't
go that
forget
way.
you have inspiration.
Yeah.
Liz.
You know what? This feels like the moment for that to me,
I
actually.
think that's a great idea. Go for it.
All right. So I'm rolling 3d10s.
And we're just going to call the last one, so the farthest right, is going to be your single integer or whatever the fuck it's called.
Okay. Okay.
So that's great. So that is either a 90 or... Oh, wait. No, that's terrible. Wait. Is it the
No, it's a
worst?
0-9.
Yeah, that's a 0... No, that's a 0-0.
It's either a 0-0
Can
or
you get a 0-0?
No, that's
a
100.
9-0, right?
Yeah, so that's either 100 or 90. That's the worst.
Dang.
You get. Yeah.
Why don't you just take the lowest 2 of 3 when you roll?
Because we said it was going to be the... Well, I don't know. I just decided. Because you have to pick which one's going to be the...
I didn't make the rules.
Yeah,
but
so...
Harlan did.
Sorry.
It's his fault.
The heat is just like... It's all in your face. Gertie, it's so warm. You're like...
No one ever did get me a glass of water.
I've been waterless for an hour. Yeah, you faint. You can't, you're like,
I'm imagining Gertie just standing in the middle of the room, like dryly smacking her lips and looking around vaguely.
and Lily's like on the ground in a fucking fetal position, and Gertie's like lying on the couch, and Billy Time is fading, but he's breathing the fire out of his lungs. All right, and Herb already failed, so it's back to Billy. Or
Back
Lily,
to
I guess.
Billy.
Back to Billy.
Back to
It's
Billy.
a Billy time.
It's one of the Lily Billy times. It's one of you guys. Someone roll spot hidden.
All right. 95.
Oh my god. You guys don't see shit. You just
You go
fart
blind.
everywhere. Yeah, you go blind again.
Arkham Trust!
Yeah, you
We got
just get
funk.
Yeah, you just get real
End of list.
real excited about, this room.
Okay, I stand up. I brush the wrinkles out of my
I don't think
skirt.
you've rolled yet anyway, have you?
I straighten up. No, maybe I did. It doesn't
No,
matter.
you've been having a scene.
I go to the kitchen. I pour a glass of water. I bring that over to Gertie.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Getting the team together.
And then I look at this body and I just shake my head. I hate to think what happened here, but I'm worried about the worst. Look at this facial expression. It's undeniable. It's exactly the same as Mr. Lowry. It's what we saw on the painting by Oliver Bright. I mean, clearly there's something terrifying at work here, and it chills me to my core. To think that there might be a work of art that could inspire this kind of violence, this kind of insanity. I just start pacing around the room, carefully walking around the perimeter of this blood stain. Take a look at all the secrets in the room, and I see them all.
Roll reveal secrets.
17.
Hey.
That
Hey!
is.
Now that's
a hard success.
yeah.
I just needed to get a glass of water and get a little perspective.
Is that
guys.
a hard or extreme or?
That's a hard success.
Hard. Well, then don't
Right.
you find the King's Gambit?
That's what I found.
You find two things.
Ah,
You ready?
I'm ready.
You sexy. You get two.
Wink.
You get something you find is clutched in her hand.
I pry her little fist open.
Yeah. and she
What's
flips.
this?
It's a key.
I look at it.
Looks like a key to the front door of a house.
This house or a house?
A house. It's an old.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, it's the key to this
now you can
apartment.
get in. No, and then Gertie. I mean, narratively, it's. I'm just gonna do
please.
it this way.
Yeah.
Because mechanical. Who gives a shit? Gertie's lying down. You know, the water's quenching, and you sort of look at this table next to you, and specks of blood are on this note that seems to be written in Nora's hand. At least what you assume. And I'm uploading the note. Gertie, why don't you give that a read for us?
Ooh. I'm ready. Once I open the appropriate note. There we go.
God, Gertie.
I love
this
Gertie.
Is so 74-year-old.
Gertie's got to.
Takes
got
her
to put
4.5
her glasses-
minutes to reach across
she
the
puts
table.
her spectacles on. She puts her water down. She
Yeah.
squints. I heard the whispers when I entered. At first I thought they were in my head. Something not real. Something I had made up. But that wasn't it. Moving through the house felt like I was walking through a dream. Each room feeling more comfortable than the last. The painter's room felt as warm and comfortable as a blanket. The image of the grinning lady washed over me like the sun from behind a cloud. I caught myself lying on the couch and falling asleep. I had a dream. I think it was a dream. And in it I saw him, the man in the house, the painter. He hid something beneath the floorboards in his office. Something to keep secret. Then the dream became a reality, and I was in the forest. Its forest. I was home. It felt incredible. I woke when the movers came to empty the house. I was broken from my slumber and embarrassed by my nap. I left the house behind and returned to my life here, but it was not the same. Each day as I readied the auction, I caught myself meeting her gaze, meeting her grin. I wanted to become it, the painting. I wanted to look at it forever. But I knew that it needed to be sold. It told me that it needed to be sold. She was forever burned into my mind like a brand burned into me. I want to go back to my dream. I want to return to the forest. I want to feel the hands of 1,000 young claw at my flesh until I bleed for them, until I disappear into them. I will return to the forest with a smile.
Good reading. Yeah, and as you sort of read that out, everyone shares a nervous look and swallows the water that Lily has been handing out.
I have a platter.
Excellent.
So it is true. Everything that we'd been thinking, all of our presuppositions. She went to the house. she was enchanted by this painting and she's gone mad. But why?
It certainly seems that way. Herb, take a photo of her. Just, the scene. Could you?
Yeah, Herb, give me a photography roll to take a picture.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping, not because I want you to fuck up at all, Mike, but I'm hoping that Gertie's drawing ends up being more accurate than the photo you take of the scene.
I'm not a good photographer. I never said that.
Do you imagine though? She sketches the painting better than a fucking picture.
I'm looking for the skill here.
Oh, there should be. Oh, it's art. It's under art.
Oh, it's just art. Okay.
It should be art, and then photography is the underline. If you didn't take it, that's fine. You don't have to roll. I just
no. I'll roll, but I can tell you for a fact it will not be good because I don't even have a number next to it.
Really? But you're a photographer. That's like your whole biz.
We'll bump that up. I'll say it's paper. 50. I'll say it's 50. I'll give you a 50. Okay. It's at least 50.
Are you really good at bluffing?
Yeah. Oh shit.
That's not good. It's a bad photo. My thumb was on the lens.
No, the lens cap is on. You're like, oh, okay.
And it's backwards. It's like 98. That's like literally almost the worst.
You've never taken a picture before, have you?
He's all shook up though.
Look, yeah, he says he's a photographer, but
maybe he's never taken a picture of a dead woman.
Yeah, I mean, for real though, maybe there's more to Herb. I mean, this actually might be a really important note that we're making fun of, because here is somebody who says they're a photographer that's terrible at photography. I mean,
I haven't taken one photo.
But you see this guy, and he does this, and he's like, oh, the cap's on or whatever. And like, maybe there's a moment where you guys do all share a look. Like,
yeah, everyone looks at each other like,
do we know this person? Just a thought.
Who picked this guy up?
So, team, what's next?
Let's go. Oh, we want to learn about Oliver Bright, right? Unless we think there's something else in the house.
Yeah.
The Everett Manor.
Yeah, there's lots of info that you can find. So, and this is a great opportunity to, again, talk about Call of Cthulhu, the research phase. There's always a great deal of information that you can gather by spending some time and looking.
I personally don't remember it, but we should check the recent papers. If Oliver Bright died, then there should be a notice about it, some obituary. We should find out.
Well, luckily I have some contacts at the local papers, so that shouldn't be terribly hard. Let's go.
Let's do it. Oh, should we call the police on our way, or just behind us?
I will take care of that.
Yeah, okay. So Herb stays behind to call the police.
You'll take care of it. Does someone want to help me down these stairs?
We all climb back out through the broken window.
You just walk away as this building is burning behind Herb. He's like, all right, taken care of, guys. Don't worry.
As he walks out, is there anybody? Would there be anybody who'd be the last one?
You can be the last one out.
Yeah,
okay. Well, I was gonna say under my breath, why did she sound like that was suspicious?
Because you can't take a photograph.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, you leave this place. You alert the police if you want. Absolutely. Do you do it anonymously?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, a good rule of thumb.
It's hella suspicious that 4 people showed up and found this woman dead.
But it's funny because I played Call of Cthulhu games where people are like, well, we'll go to the police. It's like, okay, but I'm going to role play all the police interactions, and it is time consuming and laborious. And then never do you get out of a police interaction with anything other than the police being like, I'm going to take you in, and then we'll we'll wait 2 weeks until your story clears.
I think Herb knows enough to just call, leave a tip, and then dead.
Perfect. Fast. Especially in the 20s when they're going to be like, Gertie's going to be like, hello, and they're going to be like, whack. I guess that's more nowadays, actually. Political.
Why not both?
Man, you're not wrong.
Sadly, no. You leave. And for expediency's sake, Arkham, I'm going to say, has the biggest, has great libraries. Miskatonic University has a famous one, but you do get the impression that the library will not be as useful, because that's more tomes and stuff, as just the newspaper archives. So in this case, you feel like you're going to get everything you need from these newspaper archives that Lily takes you to. Lily, where do you take us?
The newspaper archives.
Perfect. The Arkham Library / newspaper archives is kitty corner for Miskatonic University. It houses a sea of stories and information alike. The tall, slender librarian sits at the main desk and greets you with a warm smile as you enter from the scorching hot, sun-drenched courtyard. Outside the large glass doors, Lily, you recognize this man. You've met him many times as you do research for papers and things. He sort of nods to you without question, waves you towards the records, and you pass.
Thanks, Clarice.
You're welcome. I said slender librarian, but then said it was a man.
I know.
That reveals your feelings.
Clarice is a boy's name.
Is it really?
Mm,
Is it
it's for
Clarence or Clarice? That's like a mix of 5 different names.
You know what
Clarice,
I did?
Clarence,
I slurred
Claire.
at the end. Who knows?
The small brass nameplate on her desk reads Leona Parsons. Played myself.
It is a woman.
Yeah.
So
I'm just being funny.
I feel like I'm one of those people who maybe doesn't fully learn folks' names and then they just never bother to correct her.
It's Willy time. Let's go.
Yeah.
He's like, huh? So, the way library use typically works in Call of Cthulhu is you would roll library use. I'm not a huge fan of that necessarily, but we're going to use it minus the time penalty, which is typically 4 hours. What are some things you guys want to look up? Let's find some information, shall we?
Let's.
I think we're definitely going to be looking at obituaries from about a month ago, which is
Okay.
when the city got the call about the estate going up.
Okay, perfect. So
So
you
I think
take
that would kind of be around that section.
So as you're combing through this section, Billy, why don't you give me a library use roll?
I would love to fail that for you.
In fact, for everyone's sake, let's all do a library use, and then we can just either say everyone failed or passed, and then we can cut out information based on that.
Hey.
Big fail.
Good job, Lily.
That is
Wow,
a regular
who got a
success.
1? Herb.
I guess that's me.
God,
Gertie?
he's so bookish. You'd never know it.
I'm not.
My library use is not so hot. So that's actually a fail.
Okay, but you have an extreme success, the best roll you can get in this game, and Lily also, was that a regular success?
Regular success.
So that's perfect. So I think that's going to give you what you need. Interesting that Herb sort of has this like angle into this. You are sort of parsing through these records, these old newspaper archives, Billy, under the obituaries, and you don't find anything. But Herb, as you're pouring through, you kind of get this idea of maybe searching for this manor, this Everett Manor. And as you do, an article pops up between your fingers. Why don't you read this out for us, Mike?
Ooh. It's so funny that you went there because that's what I was going to ask.
Well,
I
there you
wanted
go.
to read some, like learn about the house, not the people.
You're
Herb
perfect.
hates cameras but loves books.
Oh, that's so little. So itty bitty.
If you click on it, it'll zoom in.
Yep. Okay. Get that on the monitor that I can see. So the article reads, "A ghostly manor. Leary, Massachusetts has repossessed the home of one Zachary Everett, the eccentric entrepreneur and an architect, can't read, after his property was seemingly abandoned early. The Everett Manor, which was built in the early part of 1850, was found unoccupied by Everett's gardener in the spring of 1856. And over the course of the last year, all efforts to find and contact Lord Everett have been fruitless. As Everett had no family or relatives of any sort, the property has been taken into the hands of the city until such a time as Everett should make his presence known. Otherwise, after 60 years, the city may sell the property at all. They've had it for 60 years. It's been left out."
So you read this out to everybody. Everyone sort of has an idea. And you, Lily, as you're listening to this, you walk over to Gertie, who's like so desperately trying to, but just can't. You know, she just doesn't have the ability to.
Do I find anything?
You're gonna find something, but I'm gonna do it through Gertie.
I was gonna say I find something, but I slide it underneath Gertie's hands, and she picks it up as the next thing that she looks at.
Oh,
Perfect. Yeah, Gertie, you like it seemingly just appearing before you on Lily's roll. You find the following, if you can read this out, a much more recent article.
Oh, look at this. Lily, have you seen this?
What's that?
Bright murder suicide. It looks like it's from a couple of weeks ago. Up-and-coming painter Oliver Bright and wife Margaret were found dead in their manor late Tuesday evening after an apparent murder-suicide. According to Leary Police Department, the young couple had purchased the property early last year in order to step away from the busy Arkham life. While authorities have been relatively tight-lipped about the details of the deaths, they did reveal that it was Oliver Bright who murdered the late Margaret and then took his own life. My goodness.
That's awful. But no real details apart from his wife Margaret. So they were also in Leary.
And finally, with your extreme success, and only your extreme success, Herb, you found a final article that you would not have found otherwise. And the previous people that I played this with did not find. So
Nice.
it's actually right behind. It's kind of stuck to the back of the first article, but difficult. It's misfiled almost, and you just happen to find it. Why don't you read this out loud for us as well?
ooh, another one for me to read in this fun accent.
We don't have. You can give it to Billy just to.
Give it to Billy.
Yeah, let's do that. That could be fun.
Give it to Billy time. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's hard to read in character with this without me going into character, which means he's probably going to read half.
That's fair. That's fair. Go for it, Billy.
All right, let's see here. May 8th, 1856. Missing millionaire Lord Zachary Everett has been recently reported missing by employees of his manor, East Leary. The once famous architect had turned public favor over the past few years by his increasingly eccentric and some would say bizarre beliefs. Many of his fellow elites claimed that Everett had tried to recruit them to a secret society. Amongst these accusations were a number of more serious claims, which ultimately were disproven. Of the various things Zachary Everett was famous to hold, he was always known to spout the claim that true believers would know that the spider may devour the fly, but the snake can hide from the hawk. A phrase that many claim to be utter nonsense.
Never heard of such a thing.
With these articles in hand, the four of you sort of move to a small table to set out the next stage of what man asked you to do, which was find answers, find out why his partner was killed and where the painting came from.
Taking a look at all of this together, I think it seems as though Oliver Bright purchased this Everett Manor once it finally came up for auction 60 years after Lord Everett disappeared.
Yes, it does say that they were found in their manor in Leary.
And the manor would have come up for auction just a few years ago, it looks like, if I did the math in my head correctly. Lord Everett went missing when I was 11, I think. Some time ago.
Oh, Gertie, you're so old.
Doopa-doopa-doop.
And from all appearances, it seems that Lord Zachary Everett was part of some kind of secret society, trying to get his fellow socialites to recruit, and always known to spout the claim that true believers would know that The spider may devour the fly? Does anyone know what that might mean? Can I roll a weird cult knowledge?
Absolutely. Roll a cult.
I
Should be
only
like 1%.
I have 5%. That's
Yeah,
what the
but that
standard
doesn't mean
is. But
impossible.
you know what? I failed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to help roll a cult too, because I forgot, but actually Gertie's dear Flora was into the occult and she knows some stories from her.
Go for it.
So I might get lucky.
Yeah, do it. We all want to get lucky.
Especially Gertie.
Especially Gertie.
Oh,
Nope.
No.
Gertie is not lucky. No.
No. Yeah, you're like...
Have some more
you're
water,
like, isn't
Gertie.
that a recipe for like... Yeah.
What else? Murder-suicide.
I have a thought. The woman that we just stumbled upon, her journal said the man in the house. Everett disappeared. I mean, I know it was a long while ago, but do you think he could be the man in the house that she was speaking of?
Well,
She said I think it was a dream. I saw him. Man
The
in the
man
house.
in the house. The
I mean,
painter.
she did also dream about a painter specifically, although architects do draw things sometimes. I assumed it was Mr. Bright she thought. She saw.
She said he hid something beneath the floorboards in his office.
We should definitely look beneath the floorboards in his office, but before we go, we should also let poor Mr. Man know not to let anyone look at that dreadful painting.
Or maybe burn it.
I don't know if you burn a magically terrible painting, is that bad?
Ding, 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 ding.
I have read the portrait of Dorian Gray, and I know it didn't turn out well for. I've never met a real terrible evil painting. So
Quote of the night.
I don't know. I still like he invented drifting. Billy invents drifting.
I've never read a real terrible evil painting.
I mean, the way I think of it, could easily be holding on to it. Weird metaphor, but it's like a jar of bees. You don't get rid of the bees by throwing the jar on the ground.
That's a good metaphor, actually.
It's a very good metaphor.
that is quite wise, Herb. I see now why we have you with us. Not for your photography skills, but for those gems of wisdom.
For your wise idioms.
And finding articles.
Yes.
By pure luck.
Maybe we can just quickly give the Massey's auction house a call. Or not fucking Massey's. Lowry House.
Lowry, yeah.
Yeah.
I pick up the phone, try to reach
It's
William
7.
Mann.
Dial 7.
7.
7. Yeah.
Perfect.
Ring.
Yeah, I mean, you speak to him. We don't have to act it out. And he agrees with you, uncomfortable with the nature of it. I mean, this is why he called you, and he's happy to keep it under lock and key until this is all sorted out. And as you hang up the phone and return to the desk, you each sort of share a knowing glance. The next step on your journey is the Everett Manor. And there's a calm uncomfort that sort of settles on each of you, knowing that your path leads you towards this unknown. And as you gather your things and head towards the cab to head out to Leary, you feel like heading in this direction may be a one-way ticket. And we're going to end there for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We had originally envisioned this as a one part, but these guys are doing so great, and we're taking our time, and everyone seemed to be okay with doing a part 2 at some point. Depending on schedules, who knows? Might be next week, might be next month. We're going to find out and let you know as soon as possible. But first and foremost, I need to say thank you so much to James, Liz, and Mike.
Great
hanging out with
job.
us tonight.
Good job, folks.
A huge thank you to the community: Toby, Zia, Colin, Carly, Too many to count. There's so many. Lucas is here. Jessica is here. Michael and Brandon is here. Huge audience tonight, as usual, which is always really nice when we're running RPGs. Please like the video. Make sure you check out Tales of Asperran as well as Dimension Door Podcast. Both fantastic podcasts. New episode of Dice Shame as well comes out in like 3 hours, so listen for that. And I don't know, what the fuck else?
Extra Life.
Oh, Extra Life. I totally forgot.
10 days from today or so. More
Yeah.
like 8 days.
A week Saturday, we are doing 24 hours of gaming, live streaming, hot ones, all the stuff. James is going to be there for us with some Phasmophobia, whatever the fuck it's called, and GTFO in the early.
Both of them are going to be playing RPGs with us
And
too,
then I was going to say,
right?
and then both of Liz and James are coming back for Tremulous, which if you scroll down, audience and players alike, to Extra Life, you'll see there's already a category called Tremulous, A Night in Ebon Eves, where Rob, who's Jack on Dice Shame, is going to be running the game for Joe, myself, and these two lovely people. But he's also asking you, the audience and fans, to fill out a form, as there's a bit of choose your own in it that he wants to involve you all in as well. So if you have a second, takes literally a second, head down and fill out that form, because it's going to help for the game. And that's another Lovecraftian horror. So we have a lot of Lovecraftian horror coming back.
It's kind of our thing.
Kind of a thing. But yeah, this has been an absolute blast. Do you guys have anything last minute to say before I shut this shit down? Anything important? They're
I'm
all
good.
shaking their heads. Perfect.
No, thank you for having us.
No
Wonderful.
problem.
Yeah.
It was black. Well, we're gonna see what happens with Billy Time and Gertie and Herb when we come back for part 2 of The Devil's Grin. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night, and as my lovely gal always likes to say,
It's my bedtime.
it's her bedtime, guys. Good night.
Good night.